What is up, everybody? It's your brother Shaman with Ancient Watchman. Welcome back to Monday Night Smoke. Stick around. We're gonna talk about Judah Natsara and a video that he was talking a lot of nonsense, a lot of shit against me and against the Ancient Watchmen. So stick around. We're gonna debunk a lot of the sources that he brought out concerning a lot of the African Jews, black Jews, so-called black Jews that we find in Africa back in the 1800s. So stick around. We're gonna talk about that, bro. We're gonna debunk all that bullshit. We're gonna debunk all his sources and all the things that he was talking about on Saturday morning, right? So stick around. Shalom. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Shalom. The Queen, Shalom. Shalom says, welcome to the live. All right, man. Let's see, what do we got? Yeah, man, like I said, we're gonna talk about this clown right here, right? These clown right here, these Philistine or Hamite or African converts that keep running their mouths against Latinos and natives, talking a lot of shit, a lot of nonsense. So welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Stick around. Shalom.
There's no such thing as perfect writing.
Yeah, man. Once again, so I wake up on Saturday, right? And I was watching his live, right? Because I always watch people's lives. I'm always watching what other people are saying on YouTube, especially with a lot of the Kemetic community and then a lot of these One West Hamitic camps. I'm always watching what they say. So I get to his live on Saturday morning, right? And obviously, I say and I do what I do, right? Talking a lot of stuff against these African converts and whatever the like. So I get on the chat group, on the chat room, on his live, right, on the podcast that he was doing, and all of a sudden, like he invites me in. He invites me into his live, right? And then all of a sudden, we're gonna see. I'm gonna play the video for everybody to watch and see what the hell went down, right? Because once again, the minute that I want to talk, the minute that we're about to expose, the minute that we're gonna prove the facts, the historical facts, the archaeological facts, what do? They start running their mouths. They start talking over you. They don't let you talk and all these other things, right? But today, we're gonna expose and we're gonna debunk all the sources that this clown was bringing out on his life. Obviously, life, he wouldn't let me speak. He wouldn't let me speak my piece and bring out the facts and so on and so forth. You guys gonna see, but stick around. Shalom, welcome to the live.
Tonight, I'll be eating a falafel wrap with sweet.
um yeah, yeah, I apologize everybody. I had to do the live a little late because I just got out from work, but we're Monday night Miami. Welcome to the live, everybody. Welcome to the live. Once again, we're here. All right, well, the link is chat in the chat room for anybody else that want to come in and speak their piece or share, or you know, you guys want to say anything else, you guys are more than welcome to join the panel. But other than that, welcome to the live once again. We're gonna go over certain things um, that this clown Judah Natsara was saying on one of his lives on Saturday morning, right? So we're gonna debunk all of the sources that he brought out. We're gonna talk about the deception and the lies that these clowns, these African converts, have been pushing out for the past 60 years to lie to themselves, to confuse their own people, and to deceive a lot of Hispanics and Native Americans into these whole canonized Africanized movement, aka One West, and all their Hamitic camps, right? So we're gonna go into that. Stick around. Welcome to the live. I'm gonna wait for more brothers to join in, and then we're gonna get started. We're gonna debunk again the sources that he was bringing out concerning a lot of the so-called black Jews of the 1800s and the 1600s, so on and so forth, because it seems to it seems to them that that's their proof that those Africans are actually the real Jews, aka the tribe of Judah, right? But we're gonna see. We're gonna go into the books and we're gonna find out if that's true or that's lies and deception, right? So stick around, stick around. Right. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Shalom. Welcome to live. Welcome to live. I'm glad you guys are here. Welcome to live. This is Shamar, aka Ancient Watchman. Stick around. We have something interesting that I wanna bring out concerning this clown right here. This clown, this African convert. Right? We're gonna talk about him, right? So stick around. Shalom. What's up, Yemen? What up, bro? Welcome to the live.
Shalom. I'm not Yemen, by the way, but I do know of Yemen.
Ivory of Israel. Shalom, bro. What's going on? What is your name?
You can just call me Ivri of Israel.
Okay. What brings you here?
I just want to know, what's your channel about. If you could give me a summary of basically, what is your channel.
Are you Torah only?
Torah only?
Right.
I believe in both the Torah and the Tanakh.
Well, the Tanakh is the Hebrew word for Torah. So,
well,
Torah
is the first 5 books of the scriptures, but the Tanakh involves not just the first 5 books, but also the prophets,
okay,
and the Book of Kings and stuff like that.
All right. Okay. So you don't believe in the New Testament? That's
I
basically
actually
what I'm
do.
getting at.
I mean, historically, the New Testament is accurate. Of course,
Right.
we have found evidence that there was a man called Jesus Christ who did, or back then it would have been Isa in I think Latin, and he
Mhm.
did preach around Jerusalem, stuff like that. So historically, you can find evidence that the New Testament is true. So I back it.
All right, perfect, bro. Yeah. So once again, we're called the Ancient Watchmen. We began this movement some 5 years ago when we battle a lot of these so-called Africans that are pretending to be the Hebrew Israelites, aka the Black Hebrew Israelites. They call themselves.
Hmm.
And so Jose Vega and I, we began this movement on the boards, actually on Facebook. We battle a lot of these Negroites. We debated a lot of these Negroites, a lot of these Africans, again, pretending to be the Israelites or the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And
Hmm.
so I'm not, I'm not sure if you're familiar with a lot of these One West camps. Are you familiar with them or no?
I don't really watch One West or really any of the camps when it comes to Black Hebrew Israelites, but I am familiar uh,
Okay.
with
Yeah.
uh, with the concept of certain African groups being the descendants of Israel. Yeah, so you can keep going.
Right, right, exactly. So, yeah, so we, as a matter of fact, myself, I belong to one of the cults, IUIC. I don't know if you're familiar with that camp, but
Yeah, I've
the
heard
whole
of it.
point, yeah, the whole point is that when I was part of those camps, I began to question certain things that they were teaching,
Hmm.
and I brought a lot of scriptures out to a lot of the elders, a lot of the officers, a lot of the captains there, high-ranking members from those organizations and stuff.
Hmm.
So when I started questioning their stuff and their doctrines, obviously, they saw me as a threat.
Hmm.
They didn't want me in their camp, so I got kicked out. They kicked me out, and I'm like, fine, okay, well, you guys kick me out. Why? Because I'm asking questions, because I'm exposing some of the doctrines that you guys are teaching that are completely off, so on and so forth. So I carried that battle on the boards on Facebook. We started doing teachings on Facebook Lives with Jose Vega and I. And so that's where we began debunking a lot of these One West doctrines, which is based on Black supremacy, Pan Africanist ideologies. They teach about, oh, Christ is a black man, Adam was a black man, King Solomon was a black man, Christ is a black man, and everybody was black according to their teachings, right? And
Hmm.
obviously, when we read the scriptures, we go into the Hebrew or we can go into the Greek lexicons, and we find out that that's completely not true. You know what I'm saying? So you have a lot of these so-called Hispanics and natives joining those organizations, those cults, as we call them, and they're being brought into a deception, a total deception at a collective level, mentally, spiritually, and even emotionally too. So now you got a lot of Hispanics and natives, and even so-called African Americans of the diaspora being lied, also being deceived as well. So going back to what you were asking earlier, what is the ancient watchman? What are we about? Well,
Hmm.
we're about debunking uh, a lot of things, mostly doctrines from One West and their doctrines, especially the 12 tribe chart, which is completely off again. It was created back in the 1960s by a false prophet named
Hmm.
Maria,
Yeah.
aka the Lion, and so on and so forth. So it's a lot of stuff. It's just it's just a lot of teachings that are completely off, teachings that are man-made, man-made philosophies, man-made doctrines, just doctrines that are based on Pan-Africanist ideologies, going back to what my statement always, you know what I'm saying? So, Randy Torres, Shalom, welcome to live, everybody. G Shy, Shalom, bro, welcome to the live. Ben Cuevas, what's up?
So are
Uh,
you? Oh, I'm sorry, cut you off. But are you Jewish by any chance? I don't
no,
know.
no, I'm not. I'm not Jewish. We don't practice like Jewish customs, as in like the so-called Jewish people that live in Jerusalem today. Because even then, we know them not to be the real Jews either.
Oh.
You know, they're the synagogue of Satan, just like you have two groups calling themselves Jews today on the planet. The so-called white men, aka the Amalekites, they call themselves, or Ashkenazi Jews that live in Jerusalem today, that established themselves what back in the eighth century. And they established themselves there in Jerusalem. Obviously they took on a lot of the customs of the real Jews, and so on and so forth. So no, I
Oh,
don't call
so
myself Jewish. So
Oh, so you don't believe that even the Ashkenazi Jews are the true Hebrews?
Not at a collective level, because we do know that there's a remnant of Jews, like the real Jews that are there, that go back to, for example, give me a minute. Let me just show you this real quick. I'm gonna give you a visual,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you
yeah,
so you know what I'm talking about, because
yeah.
you have a lot of Jews that stay behind, um, throughout all the migrations and all the captivities that the nation of Israel went through.
Hmm.
So you have a lot of these Jews right here that they look like, they call Sephardic Jews, or
I think that's a Yemenite.
Lebanese, yeah, Gemini Jews, and so on and so forth.
Do you believe that
So
they're the true Hebrews, the Yemenite Jews?
a lot of them would be the real Jews. I mean, they talk about their history going back to, prior to these, establishment of the Zionist state, over there in Israel today, so-called,
Mm.
the battle between the Palestinians and the so-called Jewish. So before even that was even established in what is it, in the 1940s, I believe.
Hmm.
These guys already knew, they already claimed that they were the real Jews. You know what I'm saying? So for them, for another group of people, aka the so-called white men, to come to Israel and call themselves the real Jews, meanwhile the Jews that they were there before, they were pushed aside. A lot of these ethnic groups that were in the land back in those days, they were pushed aside, um, you know, uh, killed off, persecuted, and so on and so forth. But yeah, so people like this, I believe these are the real Jews, like the people
Okay,
that we see.
but not, but unfortunately, I guess not the Ashkenazi and not the Africans.
Not according to their history. I mean, we will have to go into Deuteronomy chapter 28 and prove, because Deuteronomy 28 will be kind of like the denominator, right?
Hmm.
Of who is Israel and who's not, according to the curses that we read of in the scriptures. And obviously, we know that a lot of the curses that we read of in Deuteronomy 28 does not apply to the so-called Africans of the diaspora of the 1600s, nor does it apply to a lot of the so-called Jewish people that live in the land today at all.
All right, interesting. This is a
Right.
good summary. Okay. So this is what the channel's about. All right, that's cool. What are you though? Like, I guess ethnically, since you're not
Yeah. So
Jewish.
yeah, so-called Hispanic,
Oh, okay, you're Hispanic.
uh,
Like which
Mexican,
Hispanic
Me-
tribe? Like, is it Aztec or is it
Mexicano,
okay?
Mexico. Right.
Oh, Mexico. Like, isn't there
Yeah.
different tribes in Mexico though? Like, I know that's like a
there,
national.
yeah, there's not tribes. They're mostly like ethnic groups. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Right.
like, yeah, it's like back in ancient times. You have the 12 tribes, right?
Well, that's what I
You have
meant. My bad.
yeah, you have the 12 tribes, and even below the 12 tribes, you have ethnic families, right? Like for example, you go to the book of Ezra, and it talks about, like, oh, the son of Jeconiah, son of, you know um, whatever names, right? Son of
Yeah.
Jeremiah. And so it gives you like the genealogies of the tribes of the fathers, like the heads of the fathers of the families back in those days. So, a lot of the Aztecs call them Tlatonis. Tlatonis will be kind of like your officers, your captains of 50s, and so on and so forth. Kind of like the same order that we read of in Romans what is it, chapter 1, verse 17. You know what I'm saying? When
Hmm.
Moses gave the order, a government order, some sort of government order, back in the wilderness, right? Oh, set up wise men amongst yourselves, and put them as leaders of your family. So it's the same thing that we find, like back in Mexico, down in South America, Central America, the Caribbean islands. You have the main tribes. For example, you have the Aztecs, you have the Mayans, you have the Incas. They
Right.
have the
So which one
you know
are you exactly?
what was that?
Which one are you exactly? Are you Mayan or Inca or
I
Aztec?
really don't know. I mean, that could be an Aztec, that could be a Mayan, because the reason why I said I really don't know is because a lot of the tribes during the time of the slave trade, the intra-Atlantic slave trade, which will be like the conquest of 1492, going forward, starting from Christopher Columbus and so on and
Mm,
so forth.
yeah.
A lot of the Spaniards, a lot of the conquistadors came and basically shuffle all the tribes around. So
Yeah.
they grab a lot of the Aztecs and they send them to, like, the Caribbean islands, and a lot of the Tainos were sent to the inland, like to the Aztec Empire. So a lot of the tribes were shuffled in. So, descendants of the so-called Aztecs, quote unquote, would not be really considered Aztecs because they could, you know, more likely be like, oh, an Incan or some Mayan or some other tribe, other
Right.
than the tribes that live in those lands prior to the conquest of 1492. So
Oh,
we have brought this information out many, 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 many times, uh, um, from out of the books, concerning, the same subject that we're talking about right now.
so you believe that Israel is in the Levant? You know what the Levant is, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I
Do
mean,
you believe it's there?
well, I do believe is the Laban area, but it's actually, it's a more extended land, because we can read that in Genesis when it talks about, like the borders of like the land of Israel, the,
Right.
the land that was promised to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Yeah,
So
the
we can
Levant
read,
includes Israel, Lebanon, Syria, you know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Arabia a
yeah,
little bit. Yeah.
well, yeah, like farther north, I would say like Syria, like Assyria, what today will be considered Iraq. I think that's part of Israel too. That's part of our land. Going back to like, I will see
Y-
even
y-
farther east to like this, like the land of Summer, like where the Sumerians were at, like the Chaldeans and all them places. I think those lands, those borders or territories were part of the land of Israel of ancient times too.
All right. So you believe Mexicans are, or do you prefer Native Americans? Because I guess that's kind of what y'all are, is Native Americans, right? Would you consider yourself that?
I according to biblical prophecy, first and foremost, because that's what we go by first.
Right.
According to biblical prophecy, the so-called Hispanics and natives and the so-called gypsies, are actually the tribes, like the actual Semitic tribes, the lost tribes of Israel.
All right. That's what I
According
was
to
trying
the
to wonder.
yeah, yeah, according to the research that we've done. I mean, first and foremost, concerning the prophecies of the scriptures, the curses, especially in Deuteronomy chapter 28. But once we attach those curses and we look into history, and then, we tie those historical facts and archaeology and all the things that went down, beginning of 1492 all the way until now, uh, you know, that will be like the denominator for us to, find, hey, these people are actually the tribes. These are the lost tribes of Israel, so on and so
All right.
forth.
And all right, so now it's time for the questions. So what do you believe in when it comes to creation and the origin of the earth and the universe? Do you believe in an old earth or a young earth? And basically, if you want the definition of what I mean, I can explain.
When you talk about the young earth, you're talking about like the creationist model, like as far as 6,000
Yeah,
years.
basically the earth's about 6,000 years old to 10,000 years old versus old earth, which is basically theistic evolution. Which
No,
one
I'm
do you
not.
believe?
Well, obviously, we don't subscribe to the evolution theory, because the evolution theory can actually be debunked by, like, for example, the second law of thermodynamics. We can talk about that. Also, like the law of biogenesis can also debunk that. I mean, we can go into like the laws of physics, which completely debunks the theory of evolution, completely destroys it. So we don't believe in the theory of evolution, because it's just theory. It hasn't been proven yet. So, as far as like the old model, um, I would say I'm more like in between that and what the ancient writings states, that the Earth is actually much older than that, going back
Mm,
to like 450 years, 450,000 years old, according to the like the artifacts of the Sumerians, like the tablets of the Sumerians that they left behind, right? You have like over 30,000 Sumerian tablets that were written in clay tablets, in cuneiform system, by the Sumerians, the ancient Sumerians, which actually, like, according to the archaeologists and the historians, they say that Summer is the cradle of civilization, right? Because we find like all these aspects of advanced civilizations there prior to anybody else on the planet being civilized or advanced, right? So we can find a system of writing, a system of music, system of mathematics, system of architecture, and so on and so forth in summer prior to anybody else on the planet. And so when we read like the tablets of the Sumerians, which there are thousands of them, there's a collection, there's a library of them in which we read about like the creation story. We read, the stories of Abraham, Isaac, Abraham, the stories of Noah, so on and so forth, the story of the flood. And now, so we're talking about at least, you know, thousands of years prior to even the Bible was even established on the planet, prior to even the Israelites being a people, and so on and so forth. So the question will be like, if these stories are embedded into these in this archaeology, in the Sumerian stories, and so on and so forth, and these Sumerians are talking about years of 450 years old, that this civilization existed back in those days, then the question will be, okay, so then how do we get these stories in the Bible? Is it plagiarized stories that we copy from the ancient ones, the ancient civilizations? Because once again, all these stories were already in circulation on the planet. They were already known stories uh, back in those days, way before the Israelites was even a people, where even Moses went into Mount Sinai and so on and so forth. So, uh, do I believe the Earth is 6,000 years old? I mean, um, you know, that is doubtful. I mean, according to the chronology of from Adam all the way until like Christ, even until our days today, 2020 or 2021, however you want to call it. Um, they say that we're just entering into the in or coming up to the new, like, what would you call it, the year of jubilees, which will be like the 7,000 year, right, in which the
Hmm.
earth has to be resetted. That's according to like the chronology. If we go by the Bible, like
Yeah.
the so-called creations, the creation timeline,
Hmm.
supposedly, right? So that will be like, that will mean that the earth is entering into the sabbatical, like the year of jubilee, which will be the 7,000 year.
Right.
So that's according to the Bible. But going back to what I was saying, there's much ancient writings which predate the Bible
Hmm.
for thousands of years.
All right. So I guess my next question would be, how would you explain the origin of the different ethnic groups? Like, what do you believe in? Do you believe that, Indo-Europeans came from Japheth, and Middle Easterners come from Shem, or do you believe in like a more evolutionary type for the origin of mankind? Like, how would you explain, the different ethnic groups, Chinese,
Yeah,
uh,
well, once
uh
again, like
the
I don't I
various?
don't subscribe to like the evolution theory. Uh,
Okay. All right.
Give me a
So I guess
minute.
you can take the biblical approach. How would you explain it biblically then?
Well, I mean, we can go back to,
Australians, Chinese, Africans, Europeans, all those groups. Pretty much every
well,
human group.
yeah, I believe that, for example, we know that there was a creation council in the book of Genesis, right? When it says that you have a creation council, that they call themselves the Elohim or the Elohim, right? Now we know that the word Elohim is basically the plural word for the word El, which means God, powers, right, or angels, right? So when we read in Genesis that you have a creation council talking amongst themselves, saying, let us create man in our image after our likeness, right? So we know that that was a creation council, and there was more than one deity, or divine one, or a power, more than one power taking part of that creation council. Now we know that these gods, they're able to create life, right? But once
Well,
again,
I
going
only
back
knew
to,
one God, not really the others, but okay, you can keep going.
what was that again?
Well, I only know one God that's able to create life. That's why That's why
What?
he's the only one that deserves to be worshipped. But you keep going, and then I'll probably interject at the
Right.
end.
Let me just ask you, like, what God is that again?
I believe that is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The
Right.
God that Adam and Eve, you know, sacrificed the lamb to all the way up into Noah, and then from Noah to Abraham.
Right, but
That
your
God.
your statement is basically going against the scriptures, because the scriptures clearly says that the Alahayim basically said, let let us create men in our image. So if we're talking about if we're making statements such as the one that you just made, saying, well, I only believe that there was only one creator, would that's completely off against the scriptures if you believe in the Bible yourself. Why do I say that? Is because the scriptures clearly says that the Alahayim uh were part of some sort of creation council in which they were talking amongst themselves, saying, let us create men in our image, after our likeness. So for people to say that, oh, only one God took part of that creation council, is completely off. and
Oh,
and
can
and,
you show me that in Scripture? I
and you're
like to
not,
see that.
yeah, and you're not being honest. People are not being honest with themselves and with the listeners. Why? Because clearly, once again, going back to, as a matter of fact, let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Hold on.
This is 126.
All right. Do you want to read that, Vega? let me pull up the verse, bro, in the screen real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
June 26.
I can pull up as well while I'm waiting.
Yeah, it's Genesis 1. This is Genesis chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 26. And it
Right.
says, and Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish, over the sea, and over the fowl over the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creepeth thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them.
Right. So it says God, not gods,
No, Elohim.
or Elohim. God. It's the same thing. Of course, in English we say God, but back then they said Elohim. But still, Elohim or God created man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
But
the
it didn't
word,
say multiple.
but but yeah, that's what it means though. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna give you four sources to back it up. This is the KJV translation of the blue letter. It means God, goddess, mighty, angels, uh, judge. That's one source. The second source is the outside of biblical usage, and it tells you in parentheses. It says in the plural, rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods, plural, God, goddess, godlike one, works of special profession of God, God. The third source is the Hebrew Strong's definition, and it tells you the Elohim, plural, gods in the ordinary sense, but specifically used in the plural, thus especially with the article of the supreme God. Sometimes where is it? Sometimes as a superlative, angels exceeding God, gods, goddessly, judges, mighty. And also under the fourth one is the Hebrew lexicon, the Chaldean Hebrew lexicon. It means okay. This is the Hebrew lexicon. It means true God. The singular form and only used in poetry in later Hebrew. The plural of majesty.
Wait.
Of
Can you read that last part again, really quick?
in in imitation, it says the singular form is only used in poetry and in later Hebrew. The plural of majesty.
All right. So now I'm looking at the Strongs, and when it uses the word Elohim, I do see gods, and it's used about 204 times. But when it uses the singular God in the scripture, it's used 2,326
Yeah, that's fine, brother. That's
times.
good and dandy.
So it's
But the whole
mostly used
point
the
about that, bro,
singular form than plural.
right, right. We know how many times the word God or the word Alahayim is used throughout the Bible. But the whole point is that in Genesis, right? In Genesis 1:26, right here, as we have it right here, right? In the Hebrew.
It's saying it in a plural sense. It's saying our and us and things of that nature. It's saying it in a plural sense, not a singular sense. This is why when we look at these definitions and we see that it can be plural, and then we're reading it in the plural, so it only makes sense that it's talking about in a plural sense.
Right. Otherwise, it wouldn't say, "Let us create men in our image," right?
It would say let
Our,
me. It would say let me make man in my image.
in
If
my image, right? Right.
it's
But obviously, that's why, like, the English translations, KJV, and all those translations, it's not appropriate for us to actually read as far as like understanding what is going on. Why? Because the English translation would translate these word Allahayam, Allahayam, right? Or Elohim, as the Yiddish reads it, right? Hebrews 4:30, but it translates us to God, which in reality, if we want to be honest with the language, it says it right there. It's Allahayam. Now, if I click on the Strongs, like Brother Jose Vega just brought it out, right? It'll say it that it's a plural.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it says right there, plural. You see, plural. Allahayam, right? Allahayam, plural. Now,
Can you back up a little bit? I kind of want to see the whole screen. Right there, it says down
plural
there.
of, was that?
Can you back the camera up a little bit so I can kind of see the whole thing? And can you scroll down just a little bit?
Yeah.
Let me see. Some more.
So yeah, so right there it says plural. Allahayim, plural. Now it says a masculine, right? It's a masculine noun, but it says right there the outline biblical usage, right? It says rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, gods. You see, God, goddess, right? So going back to
Right,
the statement
right.
earlier,
But can you go up a little bit? Actually, I want to see how many times these terms are used. Can you? Yeah, it says that the most time it's used singularly though.
no, we
2,340.
understand that. We understand that. I mean, we're seeing it right here. God is used 2,346 times. God is
Versus
used 244,000. Judge 5,000 times, so on and so forth. But the whole point is that the context of the verse is letting us know, right? Genesis 1:26 is referring to not just one God, but it's referring to a cluster of gods or divine ones as we read it. But
So, do you believe that multiple gods
and
created mankind, and
and
each
you read
god basically
and
created its own human?
I would say this. Scroll back up, Shamar. Right, and this is why I said those was four sources. Right, the source that you were talking about how many times it's being used. Again, that's under the KJV usage, right? Well, that's only for the KJV translation, right? And how it's being used under the KJV. But now scroll down to the Hebrew, Shamar, where it says the Strong's Hebrew, right there. See it? It says Strong's definition. That's the Hebrews. That's what it actually means in Hebrew. Elohim. Do you see it right? It says right there. Elohim, plural of H433, gods in an ordinary sense. That's how it's being used in the Hebrew.
So
Right.
you don't. So basically, you don't believe that there is one supreme God, but that there's multiple
No,
gods.
there is a supreme God. There's always been a supreme God, brother. There's just like do you have a father? You have three fathers.
I mean, I have one dad.
No, no, no. I'm talking about earthly. Your earthly father. You have one father or three fathers.
Oh, I got one earthly father.
Exactly. So in the heavenly realms, right? In the hierarchy of the heavens, there is one creator, one supreme God, right? The so-called, what would you call it? The calf, right? The calf, or I mean the ox. The ox means that means power one of 1,000, so on and so forth, right? The ox. You know what I'm talking about in the Hebrew? The ox.
Yeah. So, do you think that in Genesis 1, though, it's not talking about the supreme God and he's over these other lesser Elohim?
There is a supreme God. The supreme God is in verse 27 when he
Right,
says
but
it himself. He says, "I, Yahweh has made man in my likeness also, male and female created he them." That's all in the singular. But verse 26 again was talking in the plural about this council, right? Now, when we talk about that council, we're not saying that necessarily those are the gods. We're saying that those councils were like beings like angel wisdom. We know wisdom was part of that council. We know Christ was part of that council. We know things of that nature. So, when we talk about you asked Shamar about mankind, right? And the reason why we believe that there's so many different kinds of people is from the likeness of these so-called angels.
so you believe that there is a Chinese angel, a Japanese angel,
I
an
would
Australian
say that
angel?
I would say that in a sense, this is the reason why they believe and have their own gods under their own likeness. Like if you really think about it, the Asians, they do have a god who they worship who resembles them. Same thing with the East Indians. Same thing with the Caucasians, with the Greek gods. Um, you know, all different gods. A lot of people have gods that resemble their likeness.
Okay, so you believe that these gods, all these gods, have the breath of life? They can give the breath of life, not just the supreme God?
No.
Yeah. I mean, we
Wait,
literally
hold on. I hear no, I hear yes. Which one is it?
hold on. So in according to one Genesis 1:26, we can clearly see that they're literally creating humanity. And the reason why I brought that out is because, and the reason why I stopped you on that too is because I want to make that clear. Going back to the Hebrew in Genesis 1:26 when it talks about the Alahayim, right? Plural of God, right? The Hebrews 4:33. Let's click on that.
Yeah,
Hebrews.
but I asked about the breath of life
Yeah,
because
yeah, we're gonna go into we're
that's the
gonna go
only
into
way
that.
we exist.
We're gonna go into that, bro. It's all tied up together, bro. It's all tied up together.
Okay.
So again, going to brother asked me, whether or not that these Alahayim can actually create life. Well, if they created humans, they also gave the breath of life to these creation that we read of in Genesis 1. So yeah, these Alahayim have the ability or the power to create life, to give the breath of life, as they also have divinity, or their divine ones. Well, they have the power. Now, are they in
Where does
charge?
it say that they can breathe the breath of life? I never read that in scripture. Because of
So
course
when,
in Genesis
so
1,
hold on.
chapter
So in
27, it reads, "So Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim, or God, he created him, male and female. He created them."
and female,
So it's
right?
only talking about one person.
So no,
And
you
that's
literally
Genesis
said Elohim,
1. And that's
bro.
Genesis 1:27.
Alahayim, brother, it's right here. It's in the Hebrew.
But it
Alahayim,
says
bro. It's right
his.
here. It's plural of God. It says gods in the
Well,
ordinary sense. Gods.
in Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, it says his own image, not Elohim. So it's
So
talking about
so
one specific
okay, so hold on. So hold on.
Elohim.
So did this God create a male and a female or just males?
It said male and female.
Okay,
He was found supreme.
so you're basically making this God an hermaphrodite God.
Well, no,
It's,
because it says his own image. You see,
so his own image is to be an hermaphrodite,
because
right?
you can actually go to it right now. Go to Genesis 1:27 and read it.
No, I read that.
I already
Jose Vega,
hold
Jose
on.
Vega just read it.
We already explained that already though. You're getting off track. I already told you. In verse 26, it's talk about the council, right? This is why it says, "Let the Elohim make us in our image and his image." Verse 27, that's where Yahweh himself is making a special Adam in his own image. That's why he's speaking in the singular sense in verse 27. And
And
what you're trying
27 doesn't mention Adam though.
what you're trying to avoid is verse 26. You can't get around where it says, "Let us make man in our image." That is not in a singular sense.
Yeah, but 27 doesn't mention Adam. It just says male and female.
We're not saying that because there was more than one Adam. When you read Genesis chapter, what is it, 3? 3 and 5, I believe. There was more than just one Adam. That's the whole point.
Is there evidence for this? Because Scripture says that all men come from Adam and all men come from Eve.
But there were many Adams. There was a special Adam that the Most High made for himself, but they had other Adams that were made, other the likeness of the other Elohims that we read in verse 26.
Is there evidence for this in Scripture?
Yes, like I already told you, this is Genesis. What is it? Hold on. Like I believe it's like 2 chapters later. Hold on. Let me get to it. Okay, I believe it's Genesis 5.
And also, who descends from this special Adam? If you would like to add in that.
It's not a special Adam. It's the Adam that was made that Yahweh made after his own likeness.
All right, but what ethnic group today descends from him?
Well, if you really want to be technical, all those groups died off in the flood, because you read their genealogies of Adam in Genesis chapter 5. It gives you the genealogy: Enoch, Methuselah, Jared, so on and so forth. So all the way down to Methuselah, that will be kind of like your paradise generation or generation of Adam that existed pre-flood. So all those generations basically died off except one, which will be Noah.
So you believe
Right.
in a global flood or a local flood?
Global.
Okay.
And
you believe in a round Earth or a flat Earth?
Hold on. Global in the sense that it took place in various locations throughout the planet. So it was global, but it was localized in their various respective countries or lands that existed prior to the Pangea, and so on and so forth. But
So
yeah,
do
it was
you
global.
Do you believe in a round Earth or a flat Earth?
Flat.
And why is that?
The evidence is overwhelming concerning, like, for example, you have trigonometry. We can go into trigonometry when it talks about any land mass of water, according to trigonometry, has to bend itself. What is it? I would say there's a formula, bro, when it talks about the bending of the water. If the Earth is a globe, we're supposed to be seeing water bending over the horizon, and we don't see that. Why? Because water always keeps its level all throughout. Everywhere you go, water is level. I think
Have you
it's
heard of the theory of
I,
gravity, though?
what was that?
Have you heard of the theory of gravity, though? It keeps
There is
everything stable.
it is a theory because gravity doesn't exist. It's buoyancy. We're talking
Have
about
you
buoyancy, bro.
have you ever dropped a pencil?
Have you ever seen hold on? Have you ever seen or experience? Have you ever witnessed a bird being pulled down by gravity?
Yeah, when it's hit by a spear or when it's hit by a bullet. Yeah, it
No,
falls.
no, just like that. Just like why it's alive? Because water is alive, right?
I
If
mean, If a
Gravity.
bird's flying, then and it doesn't want to rest and be on the ground, then yeah, it's going to keep flying until it has to stop.
Yeah, but then what is the point of gravity pulling down water, but it cannot pull a less than a pound bird, but has the power and the capacity to pull
Because the
down
bird is
To
flying
hold
most.
down, to hold down,
pounds of water down.
Because the bird is mostly flying on wind currents, so it's not going to be pulled down. Wind currents are really strong.
How heavy is waters? How heavy is water? How heavy do you believe the ocean is? So you're telling me that
Probably a couple of tons.
so you're telling me a bird and by him flapping his wings can defeat gravity, but water can't?
Yeah, because water, like the ocean, is billions of tons heavy. Like the only reason we know that the ocean is really heavy is that if you were to go down a certain depth of the ocean, you will literally be crushed by the water. That's why scuba divers can
But
only
it's
go down so
that's
far.
called pressure, brother. That's called pressure. That's not gravity. That's called pressure.
I mean, I'm not talking about gravity right now. I'm talking about the weight of the ocean because he asked me
Yeah,
how
but that
heavy
what do you
the
have?
ocean
What does it
is.
have
It's
to do with
really heavy.
gravity? What does it have to do with gravity? Because
Because
gravity has nothing to do with like
he asked me about
water
the
pressure
weight of,
at
he
all.
asked me about the weight of the ocean. He didn't ask me about gravity.
That was
Okay, but then well, gravity and water pressure is two different things. And gravity is a theory.
I know, but
What
I was just answering
what
his
we're
question.
talking about is buoyancy, bro. Buoyancy is what's real. Have you ever seen? How do you explain? I mean, obviously, there is a different amounts of buoyancy in like oil when you put oil in water, right? So it's oil floating because of what? Because of gravity or lack of gravity.
I can't remember if oil floats in water. Let me look it up.
It does. It does.
Oh, it
I can
does. Well, that could be because of the pressure.
I can actually grab a cup of water right now and pour oil in it, and the oil will go to the surface. So the question is, why would the oil go to the surface if there's some sort of gravity force that is pulling everything down? Yet you have oil that is floating to the surface. It's
That's
supposed to be
because
going down.
of water pressure.
Wow, bro.
or lack of water pressure, right?
Oh, actually, yeah. That's the other way around.
Yeah,
lack
that was it, or lack of water pressure. But back to the question I had about the proving about there was more, more than just one Adam. Like I said, it was on Genesis chapter 5, verse 1 and 2, and this is what it reads. It says, "This is the book of the generations of Adam, and the day that God created man, in the likeness of God made he him, male and female. He created he them, and blessed them, and called their name Adam." In the day when they were created.
And all of us humans today descend from that Adam.
It didn't say that. He said that. It said he called their.
No, I'm asking that as a question.
In the plural sense again. He called their name Adam.
I'm asking that as a question. Do all modern humans descend from that Adam?
Yeah. We all. Yeah, I would say that, but we were just talking about Genesis 1, about verse 26, about the plural sense and then the singular sense.
So
in Genesis 5 that there were multiple Adams in the day that they were created. That's what
so you are saying that all mankind descends from that particular Adam? Yes or no?
No, there were multiple Adams. They were all called Adam at one point, but there was a specific Adam that was created by Yahweh. The Most High.
Comes from him.
Yeah, that will be like that specific Adam that Jose Vega is talking about is basically kind of like the chosen one, kind of like the priest of the nations that were called Adam back in those days, just like we read in Genesis 1. Hold on. In Genesis 1:27, the scripture that you pulled up earlier, when it talks about that he created them male and female. Well, those male and female were not just one male and female. There were various groups of I would say humans that existed prior to the actual Adam,
and
like
not only Adam,
chosen, exactly. Like the prototype.
Yeah, it's not even that. And the funny thing about that is that it's not just Adams that were made. I believe it was the fifth day. There were pre-Adamites. So you even have other humans that were made who don't even come from Adam or Adam.
Okay, so do we all? Let's just call let's call him Alpha Adam. Okay, do we all descend from Alpha Adam and not these
Today,
Adam Adams?
we do not all come from that atom. No, we do not. Not all of us.
All right,
Yeah,
so
and the reason why is what we said earlier, right? We know that the generations of Adam, they all died off. They all died off except one, which will be Noah, and
No,
obviously
well, that's
Noah.
wait,
that's
wouldn't that mean we all descend from him then?
hold on, hold on. I would have to disagree with that because I remember me and Shamar were talking about that just the other day.
All
Remember
right,
Shamar, we were talking
disagree.
about that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So you want to be, if you want to be technical in Genesis 10, it really doesn't specify that everybody died from the flood. It doesn't really
Right.
say.
It actually does, but okay, I'll just
No,
hear you.
I would love to. That's what I'm saying. Can you show it to me? Because when I read Genesis chapter 10, it doesn't say that everybody died. It just said that that the flood happened, and that these are the generations of Noah and his family who survived the flood. But it doesn't actually say that every single like soul was like killed off the earth.
Well, it actually does. So let me just show you that.
All right, yeah, if you could pull it up for me real quick.
Yeah, give me a quick second. This is a good discussion, by the way. I'm enjoying myself. This is interesting. And also, just to add on to that, I think there actually is evidence that we all descend from, I guess we can say, this Alpha Adam and Alpha Eve or whatever.
You have the light in your room?
Yeah.
Okay.
And see if my room is clean.
It looks better.
Because I wasn't in my room playing.
Okay. Yeah, because we were just having this discussion. I was having a discussion not too long ago with some brothers, and we were reading about the account of Noah, and we all noticed that it doesn't specifically say. We read Genesis 9, we read Genesis 10, and nowhere do we read that every single life form was killed off.
Wait, who am I? Can you hear me? I'm not for sure. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we
Okay.
here, bro.
Because I was taking off the screen. I can't tell. I couldn't tell.
Oh, no, we here. We're sorry. All right, there you go.
Okay. I'm about to pull up the verses in a minute. Let me just.
Shalom, everybody. Welcome to the live. It's your brother Shamal Ancient Watchman. Welcome, everybody. We're gonna go into debunking Judah Natsar in a minute. So we're gonna let the brothers bring out whatever he's gonna bring out, and then we're gonna move on to the subject matter, the main topic of tonight's podcast. So stick around. Shalom. Welcome to the live.
All right. So here's the verse that proves it. Let me just highlight it really quick. So y'all believe in multiple Adams and multiple Eve as well, I guess?
Yeah, man.
No, we don't believe. I believe that
Triangle's yellow.
that there was a woman created before Eve.
Red.
That who? I didn't
I
hear
thought
that.
there were women created before Eve.
Oh, so there is only one Eve. Like that's specific.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, there's only one Eve, and there was multiple women, but like I said, all of them were called Adam at that point. You know what I'm saying? Before the Most High made separations and stuff between the Adamites, I would say.
All right.
But then you have what you call the beasts of the field, which were other humans created on the 5th day, not the 6th day.
What humans were that? The beasts of the field. That's interesting.
Say again?
What humans were that? The beasts of the field. That's interesting.
Well, I'm not paying.
That's what we call in the scriptures pre-Adamites, like people who don't descend from Adam.
Oh, they're the beasts. Who descends from this Alpha Adam? I'm just curious.
Say again?
Who descends from the Alpha Adam? I'm just curious.
People who today you would say who descend from Noah.
All right, so who descends from him then?
People who descend from people who Japheth, Shem, Ham.
So is that Chinese, Africans, Indo-Europeans?
I would say this. I would say this. A lot of Africans that you see today, a lot of them will be pre-Adamites. You know, a lot of the Kemet community, Anunnaki community, you know, a bunch of Africans who believe that they've been on this earth for like, according to even like Mighty Shebrew, like 600 million years or something like that.
That's insane, bro. That's a lot of years.
but that's what I'm
So
saying.
the Africans
There
are
are
pre-Adamite.
yeah, you have
All of
Africans
them, or just most of
that-
them, or some of them?
I'm just
or
saying.
what?
I would say Africans that talk about how they descend and how they've been on this earth for over like 50 million years, whatever the case may be.
So
You know, 'cause even
does that
like,
also include Sumerians? Because
Well-
they say that they're ancient as well.
yeah, that's a good point because the even in the Samaritan tablets, you know, the book of the tablets of the 14 tablets of Enki, it even talks about pre-Adamites. You know what I'm saying? That when Enki came to this earth, that there was already a species on this earth before Enki and Enlil, you know, tampered with DNA and created basically what you would call atoms, right?
So does that mean that black people are the first humans then?
In a sense, you can say that.
Interesting. So what about the
Um,
Chinese? Are they
before
also
you go
pre-Adamites?
on, bro. Before you go on, what is your nationality?
I'll reveal that when I'm done getting this verse. I'm talking, but I'm also trying to focus on that as well.
And then, do you
But I'll reveal it.
do you subscribe to Quana? Are you a disciple of Quana or what?
Quana. What's
No,
what's
I don't believe he is. I don't believe he is.
Okay.
Did you say Kwanzaa or
No,
Quana?
hey, he's talking about another teacher, non-Messianic teacher.
Kwanzaa. No, bro. Quana, that's his name. He goes by Quana.
Oh, it's a name. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Do you subscribe to the New Testament?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, just making sure. All right, go ahead.
So but for this, I'm going to be using the actually I could use a New Testament scripture. You got me thinking, but I'm not going to. I'm going to use this. So this is my evidence that everyone was killed in the flood. I was talking to one of you about that. I don't know who it was.
Shalom,
Yeah.
shalom.
What's the scripture?
So if you go to, I'm sharing my screen as well. By the way, do I see Yemenite there? Yeah, you Yemenite?
Yeah.
Shalom, shalom.
Hey, Shalom, what's up, man?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, is that Ayash? Is that you sharing the screen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
No, it's me.
I thought that was the other brother sharing it.
Yeah, I told him about your channel. I told him about
Oh,
your channel.
okay.
He has,
All right, that makes sense, bro. Because he kind of sounds
Yeah, I
like
told
you a
him-
little bit. Like, yeah, when it
Oh,
comes to
no,
like,
well,
certain-
you know, me and him, we have our, well, you know, we're friends, but we have our disagreements and stuff like
Okay.
that. So,
okay.
you know,
Yo, that's healthy, bro. You know, that's what we encourage our brothers to do. Like it's nothing wrong with having disagreements, bro. The thing that's wrong is when people have disagreements and then they start calling each other names and cursing each other out, bro, and hating on each other, bro, creating strife and divisions and all this.
well, when
things,
it
bro.
comes to stuff, you know, when it comes to intellectual
I'm
stuff,
sure
you know,
my-
I have my opinion, but I'm very open, you know what I'm saying, to what people have to say and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So I told him about you guys, because you guys are kind of like opposites. You know what I'm saying? Like how you
Right.
view stuff.
Okay. What's the brother's name? I didn't even get the even.
But I think it's Ivory.
Yeah, Eve
Ivory.
Israel.
Yeah.
Eve or Ivory. I know it looks like Ivory, but
Okay, Avery. Okay.
Yeah.
but anyways,
Like-
you can share my screen and then I can go into that verse.
All right, hold on. Let me let me share my screen down. Hold on.
Oh,
Oh,
he'll jump right back on.
Then I'll give
What verse are you pulling up, brother? Genesis what?
This is chapter 7. Oh, wait, is that the right one? Hold on. Oh, wait, that's not the right one. Stop sharing. Genesis chapter 7. Let me see. Verse 21 through 23.
Okay, hold on.
You can pull up the screen when you're ready.
Okay.
Oh, give me a minute. Give me a minute. Um,
So I'm just going to go ahead and start reading while you pull it up. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts and every
Yeah,
creeping
what happened?
thing that creeps on the earth, and every man, all those whose flesh was in, sorry, let me go back, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the spirit of life, all, keep in mind, all that was on the dry land died. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the ground, both men and cattle, creeping things, and birds of the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained alive. Now, here's another verse that I'm going to bring up. By the way, so keep in mind, all humans except for Noah's family survived. All Noah's family were the only ones to survive from the flood. All humans, as well as animals and creeping things, died. There's another verse that to me signifies that we all come from Alpha Adam. It's in Genesis chapter 1, I think. No, it's not. It's in different one. It's in Genesis. Let me see. Chapter 3, my bad. Verse 20. And Adam called his wife named Eve because she was the mother of all living. All living people come from Eve. And we know that Alpha Adam was the only Adam to marry Eve. So yeah, I believe we all are related. If there is such thing as pre-Adamites, then none of us could descend from them. None of us modern humans could descend from them. And that's also why I sort of have a problem with the interpretation of multiple Elohim creating different peoples. But if that's the case, then those other peoples are dead. I guess you can say those other peoples are Neanderthals or Desovians or whatever. But all of us modern humans have to come from Noah's family because scripture specifically says all men were killed and only Noah's family survived, unless scripture's lying, which of course scripture is not. So I take my leave.
you taking off, bro?
Oh, I'm not leaving, but you know, I'm done with that.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah, thanks for sharing, bro. Hold on. Yeah, man. So yeah, I mean, we could go on different topics when it comes to like the creation story. You know, the different Alahayim that took part of the crafted council back in ancient times, creating humans, and then creating their own priestly
Bro, can you hear me?
priestly line. Yeah, yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, yeah, like I wanna address what the scripture that the brother just read in Genesis chapter 7.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Let's get into it real quick. Now it says this, right? And this is
You can pull up the screen too, so I can see it.
we have to get into the Hebrew to see these things, right? So he says, in verse 21, it says, "And all living things that moved on earth died." Right? That's impossible. How can everything die when, according to even the ark, animals survived? Right? You had two animals of a kind.
Right.
What is it
On the
actually?
ark.
Hold on.
Right.
So what is it actually speaking about? Right. So it says everything on dry land and the earth had breathed life into his nostrils died. So the Lord destroyed every living thing that was on the surface of the ground, including people, animals, creatures that creep along the ground, the birds of the sky. They were wiped off the. They were wiped off the. They were wiped off the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark survived, right?
Right.
So when you go into the word destroyed, right? Even
Yeah.
when you go to the word, so the Lord destroyed every living thing. That word destroy there doesn't mean to be killed off or even to be like exterminated, like basically like killing off mankind. Let's get into that Hebrew word right there, destroyed, right? And then we're going to get into the other word. He says that every living substance was destroyed. The word there is the Hebrew Strong's H4229, Makah.
Strong's H 4229.
No, you tell me. I'm not
Maha.
Maha. Okay.
Maha.
Maha. So we go into that word there, right? Under the KJV, it just means to be blot, to destroy, blot, wipe away, abolished, reach, utterly. Under outside usage, it means to wipe, wipe out, to blot out, obliterate, to be wiped out, be blotted, to be exterminated. Okay. Under the Strong's, Hebrew Strong's, it means privative root to mean properly, to stroke or rub, by implication to erase, also to smooth, grease, to make fat, also to touch, to reach, abolish, blot out, destroy, full of marrow, put out, reach out, utterly, utterly, wipe, in parentheses, away and out.
Don't.
Right.
Under the Hebrew lexicon, it means these to be stroked, to be rubbed over, to wipe off or away, to wipe. That was it.
Okay. You know that verse also said died as well. So
Where does it say die?
verse 22, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the spirit of life, all that was on the dry land died. And then later on it says destroyed. So it's pretty clear that destroyed, died. That's what it's saying. Because what was the point of the flood? It was to wipe out all those nephilim. I mean, by saying that God failed to kill the nephilim.
Hold on. Hold on.
Hey, so question. So if you're saying that, to say that God failed to kill the Nephilim, so and if that's the case, why do we read in Genesis 6 and it says, and afterwards when the Bnei Elohim, or the Grigori, which basically means the Nephilim, Nephal.
Mhm.
It says that, it says, and also afterwards, that means that there was a second incursion of them, and obviously we can't read of that incursion in Genesis at all.
Right, because the book
Except,
of Enoch says
hold on,
that angels came
hold on.
down to Mount Hermon.
Exactly, that's the point. So for you
Yeah,
to
but that's
say
after the flood.
that, hold on. So for you to say, for anybody else to say, well, wait a minute, did God fail to destroy the Nephilim, or did they survive? Right? And obviously we know that in the book of Enoch it says that these fallen angels were imprisoned where? In Tartarus, right? In the gloomy dungeons in the mountains of the earth, and so on and so forth. So if these fallen angels that were doing all this mischief back in ancient times, during the times of Adam, right, pre-flood, if they were doing all this stuff, and then the gods completely destroyed the flood in order to get rid of them and put them in jail, right, and put them in the mountains of the globe and the dungeons of gloomy darkness and whatever the like. So then why do we find them again in the book of Numbers, chapter 33, verse what is it? I mean, my bad. Numbers 13, verse 33, when it talks about the sons of Anak and the giants that were there, post Exodus, when Moses sent the spies and so on and so forth in the land of Canaan. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I think that's because angels came down, mentioned in the book of Enoch in Mount
Hold
Hermon.
on, but why would angels come down again? So are you saying that the angels came down a second time on this planet?
Well, I'm saying that when the flood happened, because I believe in a global flood as well. I believe when the flood happened, the angels didn't die in the flood because angels can't die. So they were just underwater or
No,
whatever.
in
And then
no. Hold on. In the book of Enoch, it literally listen. In the book of Enoch, who has a dream about the angels basically slaughtering one another? Enoch. Enoch is the one that has these dreams My bad, my bad. I apologize. The angels themselves, they have dreams and nightmares of them basically going to war against one another. And then one of the leaders comes to the prophet Enoch and asks, "Listen, we've been having these such and such dreams, so on and so forth." One of the angels go ahead and explains like, "Well, we've been dreaming that we go and battle against one another, and then we dream that we're drowning and all this other stuff. What's going on?" And obviously Enoch knew. He went up ahead in the throne of the gods and so on and so forth in the council of the gods, and then inquire about the fallen angels. And he wanted to be like the mediator between God and the fallen angels. And obviously the Mosai wasn't buying it. So he basically told Enoch to go down and render judgments against the Nephilim to basically slaughter one another. And they all kill one another, bro, according to the book of Enoch. They all killed one another. They killed each other out to the point that even their sons became like the disembodied spirits all throughout the world. Is why we have these so-called unclean spirits going all across the globe, trying to inhabit a host, like some sort of host. And this is why we have, demonic possession and so on and so forth. Why? Because those are the sons of the Nephal that basically was slaughtered back in those days, and the ones that also die in the flood.
No.
Look, shit, like what?
All right, so I have a slightly different interpretation of that.
That's okay, bro. That's okay, but the whole point is that the angels die in the flood. But then we read in Genesis chapter 6 that it says that, and also afterwards, when the sons of Bnei Elohim came down unto the daughters of men, meaning like doing all these, unclean admixtures between humans and so on and so forth. But there was a second time. There was a second time when that happened. So we know that second
So
time was
spirit
during the
can
times of
die.
Moses.
She fell.
A spirit can die. How does one kill a spirit?
You can't kill the spirit. Only the Most High can do that.
Yeah, but he said the angels were killing each other, but angels are just spirits. So
The angels came down in a physical form. If you read Enoch, as he said, they came down upon Mount Hermon, which indicates that they came in a physical sense.
right, but that was after the flood when they came to Mount Hermon.
So hold on. So during the times of Adam, right, pre-flood times, so they came in the spirit and they copulated with women in the spiritual sense. So are we talking about what would you call it, that immaculate conceptions, like in various numbers? That's impossible for it's why we read in 1 Corinthians 15 that, as a matter of fact, let me bring that out and then we're gonna talk about the whole. Give me a minute.
Someone has a question for me. I guess I can answer it while you do that.
Yeah.
Belanca said, I think I got that right. Hopefully I did. Forgive me if I didn't. But she said, if we are all related, why do we all have different blood types? That's actually not true. Humans, just in general, are fairly closely related. If we're going to genetics, which is another thing, I don't know what you guys feel about DNA. Of course, the red stuff flowing through us. We actually are genetically closely related, all humans.
All right. So let me read 1 Corinthians chapter 15
Good
verse
question.
39. Yeah, that's a good question. I kind of disagree with your statement, but I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. Hold on.
Yeah.
So it says 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 39. It says, all flesh is not the same. You see, hold on, and I'm gonna tie it up with what I'm talking about. It says, if you can focus. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, right? Another flesh of beasts, another of fishes, another of birds. Then it says, there are also celestial bodies, you see, and bodies terrestrial, right? Humans. But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. In other words, what it's really saying right here is that you can't mate with the horse. Human beings cannot mate with a horse, just like a fish cannot mate with the dog. It's the same aspect, the same idea. If a human is gonna mate with the spirit, it's impossible for you to mate with the spirit. So for you to say that only after the flood, during the times of Moses, in the mountain of Hermon, that's the only time that these angels became basically became physical bodies. That's against the scriptures. That's against the law of biogenesis. That's against the law of
No, that's
even
not what I'm
genetics
saying.
itself.
Let me clear myself up. That's not what I'm saying. Let me clear it up. Yeah, that's not quite what I'm saying. Let me clear things up. So I do believe that spirits came down pre-flood, but I believe that after the flood they also came down because they survived the flood. But
But the
clearly we
question
have a
is, if
different
they came
interpretation. So
physically,
But that's what I'm saying.
they
So, but hold on. But even if they survived the flood, then why did you go in Genesis chapter 7 and try to say that every single thing that
ding
breathed
ding 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 ding
died?
ding ding ding.
That's what I'm saying. Obviously, things did survive. That's my
y'all are
whole
both
point.
breaking up. I can't really hear
You just basically backed up my point. People did survive. Angels survived. You know what I'm saying? That's where you even have accounts of what's it called, the Igboos. If you There's a video of some Igbo elders, right, and they'll even tell you how they themselves, their ancestors, survived the flood by hiding in caves, in high caves, and basically intermarrying with their own like family members, like incest, basically.
Well, you actually develop a problem if you were to say that the Nephilim went into caves because, for one,
I'm not
that
saying Nephilim.
flood.
I'm not saying Nephilim. I'm saying just people who survived the flood. Like I
I
said,
mean,
Igboos,
even
like
if
the
you were to
Igboos
say,
would be a perfect. That's why I said the Igboos would be a perfect example because according to their oral tradition, they'll tell you how they did survive the flood. You see what I'm saying? So you do have accounts of other nations talking about flood stories. Why do we see flood stories going far as Asia all the way even to the Americas?
right, I believe that, of course, that all those flood stories come from Noah because everyone descends from him and they pass it on. But anyways, going back to the whole cave situation, you actually develop a problem if you were to say people went into caves to survive the flood. So here's how the problem starts to happen. The flood lasted for about a year, a little over a year, maybe about 2 years,
A
I
year and
think.
a half.
Yeah, a year and a half is what scripture says.
Yeah,
If
according
you
to
if you
the
if you
according to
flee into a cave, a human cannot survive without food for about a month. But the flood happened for about a year and a half. No one's going to survive in a cave. On top of that, even if you were to prepare food, no one knew the flood was happening. That's why everyone was shocked. And if the fountains of the deep are opening, which scripture says, water coming from out of the earth, um, caves will be the first places to be flooded if water is coming from the earth. I think we're all familiar with that story about those Indonesian kids who got trapped in the cave when it was flooding, when it was raining, and that cave was filling up, and they had to get people to help them. Caves are the first places to flood when it starts to rain. But on top of that, scripture says water was even coming out of the ground. So no one could flee into a cave to survive the flood. Caves would have been their death because there would be no food to survive for a year and a half. Water builds up quickly in the cave, especially when the fountains of the deep are opening. And plus, caves are pretty dark, pretty cold, and so you'll die of even like hypothermia. It's kind of impossible for humans to just flee into a cave and try to survive for a year and a half.
Well, I disagree with that because there's like a lot of like what would you call it? Mm, like evidence of human beings surviving massive amounts of
I mean, people can
like
live in a
months.
cave.
Hold on.
Don't get me
There,
wrong. People can live
there's
in a cave
evidence.
and go in and out, but you can't survive in it.
There's hold on. There's evidence, brother, of human beings surviving in the middle of the ocean for months.
Color yes, the
For
whole
months.
Underwater,
Now,
or
really
are you talking
Alani?
about
yeah,
underwater or on a boat?
no.
Because
Like when people like when boats like get sunk and like
Stranded. That's what you're talking about. Basically getting stranded or whatever.
Go ahead, so
yeah, stranded basically, yeah. So there's a lot of people
I
that
mean,
testimonies of people surviving for months out in the ocean, right? Out in
yeah,
the
it's a little
ocean. Now we
different. that's a bit different because of course you can survive out in the ocean
Mm,
on a boat. You can fish. You might have a bit of a problem with water because the water's salty. But
well,
we're talking about
well, you
someone
can
in
also
a cave,
like you can also
and there's
fish
nowhere.
like
There's no way to
in
fish.
flood.
Yeah, but caves are open, right? So water's going to get in. Versus
Well,
you're already on a
there's some
boat on a
caves that
flat
are like
surface.
right. I mean,
So
I
there
don't
is a
know.
difference. Yeah.
Right.
Again, like I said, like if you want, I can tag you to those videos and you can, see for yourself, of other, cultures talking about how they survive such things.
Well, am I talking to two different people on that
I
one?
would say it's far fetched. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying like when I saw the video, the Igbo saying it. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was kind of ridiculous because they were talking about having incest. So I'm very
That
sure they're
wouldn't work
probably
either.
you never know they were probably drinking blood. Maybe cannibalism took play. You never know. Eating dead. You know.
Yeah, but eventually you'll run out of people, and that's a year and a half.
No, why would you run out of people after a year and a half?
And plus, you can't survive too long, even eating other humans, especially if it's raw. I mean, you have to bring something to cook it with, which again, no one knew that flood was happening according to scripture. Kind of just came on people because the Most High wanted to kill them, kill humanity. So
Yeah,
it
but
was pretty a quick thing.
why would they not make fire though? Like it doesn't take much to cook flesh. They're not cavemen, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
they
it's very
were
dangerous lighting
they
a
were
fire in a
cavemen.
cave
They didn't know
because of
anything
all the
about fire.
gases.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, but you
They
have
could
to.
easily fish. They could easily, say fishing could have been a way to survive. You never know. Like
Right.
if surrounded by water, why not fish?
Yeah, but the water's going to get in the cave. You see what I mean, right? Like,
Well, it could have, you know what I'm saying? But like I said,
and you will
like I
die.
said with the
You
Igbo said that the caves that they were in high caves that the water didn't reach. That's what I'm saying. Like I could send you that video. Like I said, you have elders who have oral tradition passed down to tell you how they survived the flood.
I
You know what I'm
mean, if
saying?
it's a local flood, there's been many local floods throughout even 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago. I mean, how do we know this is the global flood versus just a regular local flood?
Because it talks about how they were in there for a long time and how they survived by having incest and stuff like that for a long period of time. Like I said, you can look up the video if you want. I mean, I can even send you the video. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
Yeah, you can do that. Send me the video.
there's cultures that talk about it.
Yeah, you can send me.
Maybe you can
Yeah,
post
yeah,
it on.
send it to me
I'll
in
put
the
like this. I'll
chat.
put it this, brother. What we don't really do is that we don't put other people's religions and their beliefs to the side. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a reason why there's different gods and people believing in different gods. You know what I'm saying? And because people believe that their God gives them power or has blessed them. I really don't like to get into conversations about like, oh yeah, your God ain't shit, because at the end of the day, like there are other gods. Like this is the reason why people believe in other gods. Like we can't be ignorant to the fact like, well, our book says there's only one God. Well, if that's the case, then why do people still practice Hinduism, Buddhism, worshiping these these statues? You know why? Because the same way that your spirit bears witness to the God of Israel, their spirit bears a witness to their God and what their God has done for their people for thousands of years. You see what I'm saying? This is and the simple fact to say that there aren't other gods, that would be silly, because why did the Most High tell Moses to go to Pharaoh to challenge the gods? Why? Because the gods of Egypt were real. The reason why is the Most High had to show the Pharaoh that he's the true power and his gods were weaker than him, or basically weren't shit compared to him.
So you believe that the gods of Egypt created the Egyptian people?
No, well, they could have been. It could have been creating not just their people, but just their what you would call, if they, well, technically, yeah. If you're an Egyptian who believed in Heru, whatever those damn gods' name is, all those multiple gods. Why not? It's the same thing with like I said, the same thing with Buddha, same thing with all the other gods. Like these people's gods look like them.
So what
Just
about Wiccan then? Because that's
like
a
who?
religion. Wiccan, the Wiccans. So you believe the Wiccan God created the Wiccan people?
I don't know. I've never heard of that, but
You talking
Well,
about the
Wiccans,
witches?
yeah,
witches?
yeah. So a
No,
witch
no.
God created witches.
I don't
Are you talking
know.
about Wiccans? Like Wiccans as in witches or no?
Yeah, yeah, I'm talking about
Don't
Snow.
witches worship the devil or something like that?
No,
They
that's a
kind
false
of
statement.
worship like, you know, it's old
Is it big? Like
European.
I'm saying, like literally what I'm talking about, like when I talk about like Allah, like that's basically speaking for like the whole Middle East. You know what I'm saying?
So you believe Allah made the Arabs?
That's their God. That's their power. You feel what I'm saying? That's who they
The,
believe is their God, who
so
created
you do
them.
understand that
Reason,
some Arabs are the cousins of the Israelites, right?
Yahuwah and Allah are one.
of course.
Allah, this means Elohim. You know what I'm saying?
So Allah also made the Israelites.
Well, Allah is a translation of Elohim. It's from Elohim because you got to remember Ishmael also had a covenant as well. You know what I'm saying? Didn't Ishmael come from Abraham?
Yes.
You know, so Allah, like Islam and stuff, it all comes, you know, in the Torah, you know, comes from the same source
Interesting.
and stuff like that. But I mean, that's another discussion for another time. But yeah, I mean,
So I
you guys,
guess you believe in this too, then Yemenite, that for instance the god of the Egyptians made the Egyptian people.
no, I believe what I've studied and stuff like that. A lot of these Egyptian gods, like Thoth, I would say Thoth is what is Enlil or something, is like an Anunnaki. But I believe like a lot of the Egyptians, you know, they were like worshiping nature and they were into animism. Even like in West Africa, you know, you remember when I asked you about
You're
you know,
kind of muffled,
African.
by the way. I can't really hear you.
Wait.
No, wait. All right, he's gone.
Yeah, well, I want to add to what he was saying because that's a confusion between a lot of Comedics today, in which they take pride of the civilization of Egypt, when in fact, all the civilization of Egypt, all the mystery knowledge that they have, all the buildings, architecture, mathematics, science, and so on, as astronomy, all of those sciences and disciplines, bro, they were taught by none other than Thoth. Now, Thoth was literally a
So
Sumerian god. You know what I'm saying? Thoth was a Sumerian god. He was not a Kemetic god. He was not a Negro, black god at all. He was a Sumerian god. He was one of the sons of Enki. Going back to the like the Atlanteans and so on and so forth. Like when Atlantis got destroyed, and the king died. Like supposedly, the Anunnaki king died of the city of Atlantis, or the country of Atlantis, or whatever, however you want to say it. um his son was sent to basically colonize like the inward parts of the earth, right, which will be like Africa. And so he landed, like literally, it says like in those ancient scriptures, it says that he landed on a spaceship, like in the land of the black-headed people. And so when the black-headed people, they were like literally like a bunch of savages that were living in caves,
you do
like the
know it's the
word.
Sumerians who are called the black-headed people, right?
That's very debatable. We can go into that too later on. But going back to what I was saying, so he landed in the land of Ham, and he called them like the black-headed people, and he also said that these dudes were basically like naked. They were not civilized. They were a bunch of savages, and they came out with like stones and spear and like
Yeah, those are
branches.
the Gutians, right? You know that,
Yeah,
right? Those are the Gutians, not the Sumerians. Gutians were described as being white with blue eyes and blonde hair that lived in the
Yeah,
Zagros
yeah, I
Mountains.
know that. Yeah, a lot of people, say that those are the Sumerians, but but let me make my point real quick. So yeah, so the civilization of Egypt was created and established by none other than a Sumerian god. So for a lot of these comedics to like fully take pride on their bullshit, it's completely, it's nonsense, bro. Like their stuff is not even theirs. Their stuff and all their science and everything that they have and everything that they're about goes back to these Anunnaki, bro. Well, they didn't call them the Anunnaki. They're literally called the Anuna. They just
So
added
what is
the
the origin of black people?
Oh.
I'm curious.
well, according to the Bible, if we go by the story of the Bible, I mean, um, we know that, obviously we know that Noah, if we go by the story of Enoch too, if we go by the story of Enoch, then Enoch will be basically like, I mean, my bad, if we go by the story of Enoch, Noah will be considered a son of the gods, literally like a a son of the gods, right? So that means that he would have some sort of they, even in the community, you have these dudes that say that the black woman has the Eve gene, which means that they have the various mitochondrials and proteins of various races within their genome in order to create various races. Well, we can also apply the same aspect or the same idea with Noah, because Noah was one of the sons of the gods. So if the gods are able to create like superhumans, like um, more advanced than the regular humans, that means that Noah had some sort of uh, Eve, quote unquote, gene within himself that was able to procreate certain races or various types of races and genotypes and genotypes and phenotypes on the earth. Now, going back to my point. So if that's the case, right? If that's the case, then we can say that Noah beget Ham, Shem, and Japhet, which were various three different types of people, right? In phenotype. As a matter of fact, we can read that in the book of Enoch, chapter 89, when it talks about that Noah was referred as to what? The white bull, and his son Shem was referred as to the red bull, and his son Ham was referred as to the black bull, and his son Japhet was referred as to what? As the white bull. So right there, we can clearly see, like in metaphors or symbolism, that Ham, Shem, and Japhet were various types or phenotypes, perhaps even to the point of having different genotypes as well. I believe that. So going back to your question, who created? Where does the black races come from? I mean, we can say it comes from two groups of people. One being the beast of the field, and the other ones being the sons of Ham, which will be like the races, like the black races, if you would say, and
Which
and even
specific ethnic groups are the beasts of the field? Like which specific ethnic groups are that?
well, that will be kind of like the people that are saying that they've always been here, that they literally confess in their spirit that they've always been here prior to any humans on this planet. Going back to like some of these Comedics, some of these groups of people that believe that they're the Anunnaki, or they go back to the sons of the Anuna. Like you have certain black African Americans or Africans that literally say that. Like Jose Vega just told you, that a group of people, uh, they themselves have in their mythology or their history, or whatever it is that they have, uh, the oral tradition, if you would say, that their people go back to thousands upon thousands of years prior to even the Bible.
Like specific ethnic groups that are the beasts of the field, because those are all kind of general terms. Can you name like specific ethnic groups?
I'll give you a position. You ever heard of the Sand People? The Sand People in Africa, I believe they date back to they claim they're over 20,000 years old.
You talking about the San Koi?
Yeah, they're talking about the Sand
Yeah.
People, right? That's what it's called.
Small one.
There's bubbles in here, Mom.
What's the Sand People? I forgot the other name they call them.
The Khoisan is Khoisan.
Yeah.
I
Or
believe,
copperoid.
yeah, I believe so. And they tell you that they go back a couple of 20,000 years or something like that, even 25,000 years ago. How is that possible when like we all can agree that the flood took place around 6,000 years ago, right?
Well, I didn't hear you say that one more time. The last part.
No, I'm saying
Not all of it. Not all of it. Just the
you all
last
know
part.
that the flood goes back to around 6,000 years ago, right?
I mean, personally, I believe in the young Earth. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So, but yet you have individuals who can go back 20,000 years or even further back.
I know what you're.
How do you
That's what the.
how do you explain that scientifically?
I mean, that's what the science says. I don't know if Khoisans have ever specifically said that they go back that far.
Well, do you believe in the science?
Yeah, I believe in the science, but I also believe you can harmonize the science. So.
So how would you explain those individuals today that are walking today that go back 20,000, 50,000 years from years ago?
I mean, I don't think that those ethnic groups go back that far. I think that they're pretty
But science
recent.
says it. That's what I'm saying. Science is telling you that they do.
Well, you can change the dates and just say that a specific group comes back, in a certain time. I mean, you don't have to say they go back 200, 200,000 years, you know. You get what I mean?
Give me loose track.
All right, everybody, man. Thanks for sticking around. I think we're gonna get started. Is there anything else you brothers want to share? Anything else you guys want to discuss before we get into the main topic?
Last
Anybody
thing,
else?
who are the Hamites? That's the last thing I got.
You're looking at one right now.
But I thought he was a beast of the field. I thought Afro Americans were beasts of the field. I don't know which is it. Are they beasts of the field or are they Hamites? I don't really.
Some. I will say, once again, going back to my statement that I made earlier, you have a lot of communities, right? You have the New Age community, you have the Sumerian community, in which there's a lot of Africans in those communities, which they literally say themselves. They bear their statements bear with their spirit that that they believe what they believe to be true, which is what that they say that they go back to thousands of years ago, prior to even Adam and Eve were being here on this planet. Meaning
So I
that
guess blacks are the first humans then?
not necessarily, not collectively. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that those group of individuals that I just mentioned, like people that believe that they're the ancient Sumerians, that they're the ancient, even like the ancient people that existed here on this planet prior to the gods coming on this planet, or even created human beings on this planet. Well, those individuals bear witness with their statements. They say those
But
things
you're
for a
saying
reason.
that it's black people, right?
Not all black people say that, though. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Not all black people say that. So not all black people could be labeled as the beast of the field. I mean, some of them could be Egyptians, some of them could be Canaanites, some of them could be I don't know, Hittites, Jebusites, or other tribes, bro.
Well,
because
what if you have a brother and he says that, well, I go back 60 million years ago, but the other brother says
I
I'm
don't have a
Egyptian.
brother, bro. That's
No,
theoretical.
I'm making a scenario. I'm saying, like, what if you have two brothers and they're both black? One of them says, I go back 600 million years ago, but the other brother says, I'm Egyptian. Which one is right?
Well, again, what your statement is theoretical, so I can't answer that at a theoretical
say,
level.
I would say
You
go by the
definitely have that
spiritual.
in the world.
They
You
go by the
definitely have
spiritual,
that, though.
what they're spiritually identifying themselves as. That's what the scripture tells you. The scripture tells you that your spirit will bear witness, right? Not only that you're Israel, but your spirit will bear witness to what nation you belong to. This is
But they're
why
both
you have.
genetically related, though.
This is why you have certain African Americans claiming that there are Canaanites. You have African Americans claiming that they're Egyptians. You have other people claiming to be their spirit to be claiming, other nations, or
So claiming an ethnic group actually makes you that ethnic
No,
group?
I'm saying spiritually. If your spirit bears witness to being from that nation, that's what your spirit is bearing witness to. This is what I'm saying. If an African American is talking about, he feels like he's an Egyptian. He's been taught that he's an Egyptian, and in his spirit, he feels like he's an Egyptian. He practices Egyptian customs, right? Their holidays, worships, their whatever. He wants to read try to learn their hieroglyphics, whatever the case may be. Their spirit is bearing witness to that. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with an individual who claims.
So what does that mean, though?
Do you believe in so do you believe in genetic memory?
Like your ancestors, and you can remember what they felt and did and stuff like that? Like that type of, like Assassin's Creed type of stuff?
Yeah.
What was that?
Like Assassin's Creed type of stuff? That's what it sounds like.
Basically, I know what you're saying. Yeah, basically. I just like the analogy.
I mean,
yeah, like for example, like when I mean genetic memory,
but I don't really know. Like that'd be kind of messed up. Like what if what if I don't know, that'd be I had something dark in mind, but that'd be pretty
go
messed
ahead,
up. Like,
bro.
what if
Bring
all
it
these
out, bro.
Nazis,
Just bring it out. Just say
like,
it.
like let's say that you have a Nazi in your lineage. Like, are you automatically going to be a Nazi, or like, and you start thinking like, I don't know if that really works.
Well, the reason why I said genetic memory is because it's been proven that genetic memory is something real, and the way to prove it is, like, for example, all the trauma that the so-called blacks have experienced throughout their slavery throughout the ages, bro. So they carry these
Well,
vibrations
if you say
within their
trauma,
genes.
yeah, like I believe in
Yeah,
that,
well,
but the genetic memory.
trauma. Yeah, but trauma is recorded within your gene, within your genome.
Yep.
Okay,
Why?
I can see it
Because
that way then. Yeah. Well, then yeah,
yeah,
I believe in it
yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
what that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
to an
Exactly.
extent.
So
Yeah.
and so going back to what we were saying earlier, like going back to the vibration of your why? Because your spirit is what? Your spirit is in the like your like the spark of life is where in the blood, right? Well, the blood is what frequency and genetic information is coding systems, right? It's alive.
Yeah.
It's like a frequency coding system. It's harmonics itself.
Yeah.
So if your coding system, your harmonic system, and your frequency system is alive, which is the blood, which is within the blood, and then within the blood there is genome and genetic information to make another you, that means that there's some information, some vibrational spiritual sense, like that is vibrating, that makes making you believe what you believe. Like nothing can change that. That's who you are. And
Okay.
that's why well, exactly. And so that's why the scripture says your spirit bears witness with our spirit that you are either whatever it is that you're claiming to be,
All right.
either
I
a
can see
son of
that.
God, or the son of Lucifer, or the son of Zeus, or like the beast of the field, or the Anunnaki, or the fallen angels, or the Nephilim, the Nephal, the Canaanites, the Egyptians, whoever you're claiming to be, bro. If your vibration is your harmonics is vibrating at that frequency, that means that that's who you are, and
I
nobody can
feel you.
change that.
Yeah.
Nobody can change that, bro.
It's just
All
like
right. So
religion.
what about Afro Americans that say that
it's
they're
just like
Israelites?
it's just like religion. You choosing your nationality or what your spirit is bearing witness to. It's just like a person choosing their religion.
All right. So what about African Americans that say that they're Israel? Is that wrong?
Some might
Is
be
that
Israelite,
judgment?
bro. No, some might be Israelites, but there's a lot of them that are fulfilling prophecy, just like we read in what is it, Deuteronomy chapter 31, Second Ezra chapter 1, verse 25, I believe, when it talks about that the Most High was going to move us to jealousy by giving our statutes and commandments to the nations,
Mhm.
so that we will be moving to jealousy.
So some
So
African Americans, but just not all of them.
Yeah.
well, and going back to the spirit, going back to the spirit bears witness with our spirit that you are the sons of God. Well, if you again going back to what is it, Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 13, where it says, the remnant of Israel shall not speak lies, nor a deceitful tongue shall be found in their mouths.
Mhm.
So if that's a statement that the prophet gave us, that if you claim to be an Israelite but you're lying against the scriptures, you're making this up, you're making these other things up, you're making some doctrines up and all these other things, perhaps you may not be an Israelite, bro, because the remnant of Israel shall not speak lies. Just like this clown has been lying to the people, just like he's been making false claims against me, that we actually gonna go into in a minute. So I'm just
So,
waiting for brothers to finish
so
the
none of you
statements.
guys have ever lied before. Like you've never told a lie ever since you was born.
No,
No,
well,
I'm not saying that.
that's
Nobody's
what
innocent, bro.
Talk about lying on the scriptures.
we're talking about, the scriptures, like
Have you
doctrines
ever
and so
been
on.
wrong though?
You
On
could
scripture?
be wrong, but there's a difference between being wrong and being deceptive. See,
Right.
now we could be honestly wrong. Like, okay, if we're discussing something and say that, and I ignorantly didn't know something, right? And you show me, like, well, look, it does say that, look, word for word, right here. Okay, like we could take correction, but if what we see about One West, right? They'll tell you, well, perfect example, like Jeremiah 14, 14:2. Judah is black, the gates thereof language, whatever. They're black unto the ground. And they use that as a color scripture. Say, look, this is a scripture showing you that the Jews are black people. You see what I'm saying? They
Yeah, I've
know
heard
it
that.
doesn't. They know it doesn't
Or
say that.
yeah, or Job
They know it
30:30.
doesn't say that nor mean that, but they're using that for their doctrine to bring people in to try to say, hey, look, the Jews are black. You see what I'm saying? That's being deceptive.
Do you
Right.
think that someone who says that could like accidentally be wrong because they don't know the Hebrew or something? Because of
No,
course,
they know what it means. That's what I'm saying. Like, we've had it in with this camp, Sakari, right? I don't know if you ever heard of them.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Sakari camp. Like we used to get it with them all the time, and they used to kick a lot of these color scriptures until we taught them, and showed them the correct way to how it's being used. And
Isn't
Sakari,
Sakari Hispanic though?
this is why I give Sakari props for it. They're the only camp that I've seen that have stopped using color scriptures. They don't no longer go to Song of Solomon 1, They no longer
Or Job 30:30.
they don't go to these scriptures anymore because they know the proper way to, the proper way to use it now.
Right.
Other camps still using it. Why? Because they chose, even though
Do you think that some of the people though may not just
West
know it
camp,
though?
even
Do
though
you feel like some of the people, like the newcomers, may just not know and may accidentally be saying it because kind of like telephone. You hear one thing, you keep repeating it. Like, you think that could be the case too as well? Like giving
No,
people
you're
the benefit
right.
of the doubt.
you're right. You're right. That's what I'm saying. But they're getting taught that. That's what I'm saying. They're going to these camps. They're going into these churches, and this is what these people are telling them. So yeah, you're right. Now their students, we don't have to blame their students for their ignorance.
Yeah.
But what we're talking about is a movement, and this movement is blatantly just teaching lies. They're being deceitful, and they know they're being deceitful. That's the whole point. They know they're being deceitful.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay. All right. I feel you.
What's your race?
Shikon Brascon, gods equal aliens. Yes, I believe. And the word aliens doesn't mean green little men walking around with antennas, bro. That's not what it means. The word alien, it means extraterrestrial, meaning outside this plane of existence, right? So even angels, like the angels, like back in ancient times, the angels, they will be considered today aliens. Why? Because they're not from this plane of existence. One, two, they show signs of having some abilities that are out of this world, right? So anything that's out of
said that.
What?
Aleister Crowley said that. He's the one who wrote the Satanic Bible. He said that that the demons or the angels or the gods, they will look like our modern day aliens that we see on TV. You can look that quote up.
Aleister Crowley, man, he's a Satanist, bro. Like, there's also a dude. I forgot what his name was. Anton LaVey. He summoned the demon Lam. He summoned the demon Lam, and it looked like a guitar picked head ass thing, but the aliens or whatever, fallen angels and demons and stuff.
Yep. I agree with that.
Yeah, I know what Jeremiah you just said, bro. Yeah, he had some sort of vision, and he had automatic writing. He wrote this little book, bro. I don't know what it is. I never read it, but yeah, in the cover it has like these so-called gray aliens, like your regular gray aliens, bro. They look like that.
Yep.
But going back to the thing, right? Yeah. Anything that's not from this plane of existence, from this three-dimensional plane of existence, which is called Earth, is considered an alien, right? So the Alahayim, the angels, Christ, they will be considered aliens. So
except I believe Christ in his human form looked human. Do you agree?
Bro.
You don't think he looked human?
Yeah, bro, we could be here all night.
We have another brother on the panel now.
Yeah, Anthony Shalom, bro. What's up?
Hey, what race is this guy?
Right.
So we believe in race or ethnicities. I want to know that first of all.
Well, it's like a genetic term, because earlier you asked me, what race do I consider myself? I'm like, I'm a Mexican guy, right? So-called Mexican, whatever they like. So that will be my genetic term, and I already explained, like, well, I may not be a Mexican. I could be some other tribe, because the tribes were shuffled in. So the question will be to you again, because you said you were going to answer after your statements earlier. So, what is your nationality?
All right, my nationality, my ethnicity. You see the image on my screen. You can make it bigger if you want.
The Avari? You're talking about the Avari from Egypt?
Yep, that's who I am.
Okay, gotcha.
I actually look exactly like this guy. I have the same phenotype: medium brown skin, woolly-ish black hair.
Right. Yeah, we know who the Avari are, bro. We know that the Avari, we're also Shemites, but we know that a lot of our people mixed in with the Egyptians back in those days. So there was a mixed multitude that came out of Egypt during the Exodus. So the Avari, some of them, might have been Israelites, some of them might have been Hamites or Egyptians.
Eved means Hebrew. That actually is a Hebrew of Israel. It's from the Greco-Roman period.
Right, the
Yeah,
Ivory, like going back to
yeah,
Iber, right? Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
right.
That's like kind of like the.
And I do have Egyptian blood as well. I took a DNA test,
See,
several actually.
that's what I'm saying, bro. You see, you just proved my point. Like a lot of our people mixed in with the Egyptians, a lot of mixed multitude where both our people and stranger Israelites that walked amongst us. Again, going back to what Jose Vega and I teach, we know that there's Israelites today that will be considered stranger Israelites that will be like the progeny between an Israelite mother and a heathen a father. That progeny will be considered what, strangers, but they will still be considered Israelites, but they will just be strangers. They will be the strangers that are amongst us. Is
Yeah,
why
Ephraim and Manasseh was half Egyptian. Joseph married Asenath, and so the whole tribe of Ephraim and Manasseh are half Egyptian, half Hebrew, or half Israelite, as an example.
basically, yeah,
Yeah,
right, yeah, but even in that event, Ephraim and Manasseh were able to get a tribe,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But according to what we teach, what is it, First, Second Chronicles chapter 2, I believe, and Ezekiel 37, if I'm not mistaken. We already broke this down before, but the whole point is that those stranger Israelites, meaning the progeny between an Israelite mother and a heathen father, that progeny will not be able to uh, get a tribe, or yeah,
They
you won't
will
be
be
able to
able
name.
to tribe.
What's that?
You mean they will be able to claim a tribe?
No, no, not
Yeah,
not
after
now,
the
not as of
third
now, but
generation.
yeah, but later on in the kingdom, right? Right, later on in the kingdom, according to Ezekiel, what is it, 37 or 39? But not
Are we
now.
talking about end times prophecy, or are we talking about just Iron Age Israelites? I'm not for sure.
I would say post kingdom prophecy, like literally, like in the kingdom or post kingdom, if you want to call it. That's when the tribes are gonna be able to. That's where those stranger Israelites that are amongst us are gonna be able to claim tribes. So like literally tribes, like, oh, I'm from the tribe of Judah, or I'm from the tribe of Levi, or I'm from the tribe of Benjamin, or whatever tribe you claim to be, or then, or according to the land in which you live in, so on and so forth. But yeah,
That's
Mhm.
so yeah,
that's in Ezekiel 47.
yeah, okay, Ezekiel 47. Yeah,
So end
so
times then.
yeah, I would say, well, it doesn't say end times. It says Paul's, like Paul's kingdom, like Paul's temple, whatever.
Second
So
temple.
yeah,
Third temple.
So that would definitely be the
Paul's
end
temple, yeah,
times then.
third temple. Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely be the end times then, because the third temple doesn't exist.
Well, end times will be considered like the events that are taking place of the destruction. Post kingdom will be considered when everything's settled, when the dust is settled. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying post, like, you know,
Yep.
like post
Yeah, I feel you.
post end of the days. Yeah, let's put
Right.
it that way.
Yeah, I feel you. But yeah, that's what I am. For those that were wondering, what, I sound white or something? I get that a lot. If
No,
that's what.
bro. Yeah. No, you good.
All right,
I don't.
good,
I don't
good.
judge, bro. Like I don't judge people that sound white or you sound Chinese or you have an accent like me. I have an accent, bro. I have a thick accent, so on and so forth. But people make fun of me because English is not my first language. But whatever. So yeah, I mean, I don't judge. I mean,
All right.
we don't
Yeah, I
judge
know that's
nothing,
what
bro.
people
We
probably
don't
were
go by
assuming.
color either. This is why we're saying that Israel comes in various phenotypes and genotypes and hair textures and tall, short, and whatever the like. Some Israelites are gonna look Chinese. Some Israelites are gonna look like white as hell with like freckles and red hair and so on and so forth.
What
So
about pygmies?
ours, what's that?
What about pygmies or Khoisans?
Like pigmentation?
Like, what about the pygmy people, the little people in Africa?
Bro, those are leprechauns, bro. Those are. I don't know, bro. Again, it could be once again who is me to say, well, you're not an Israelite, I mean, we can go by the scriptures and decide whether or not you're an Israelite, whatever the like. But at the end of the day, you know, we could be vexing the Northern Kingdom. The Northern Kingdom could be vexing the Southern Kingdom amongst ourselves, and we don't know. And that's also
Interesting
part of
thought.
that's also part of the whole thing about Israel, about the whole nation. You know,
Yeah.
always fighting amongst ourselves about such and such and such. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
so
It's a good, interesting thought. Yeah.
It's Maha
Israel destroying themselves.
Israel will be 1/10. I don't get that.
where do you say that?
Someone on your message, your comment board, by
Oh,
Maha. Yeah,
Israel.
Israel. I don't get that. What does he mean by that?
Uh,
Of the world.
Miha, Miha, what do you mean by Israel will be the 1/10? You mean the 1/3? Is that what you're talking about? Or the whole thing about Ezekiel, Zechariah 13:9.
Or that end
But
time
anyway,
prophecy about them being attacked and stuff.
Anthony, you got your answer, bro. What's up?
That's it, brother. I'm just listening to y'all.
All right, cool. In that day,
Why were you curious, Anthony? What
Uh,
do you think I was actually? What did you think I was?
just by the questions, it seemed like you was probably, one of the Black Israelite brothers or something.
Oh, really?
How are you different?
I didn't know you thought I was a goyim.
Kwana.
But
All
all
right.
right.
Isaiah 19:24. In that day shall Israel be third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land. Yeah, if you read verse 25, I believe it's talking about there was gonna be a temple in the middle of the desert and so on and so forth.
Yeah, that was fulfilled. That scripture she pulled. That was fulfilled by Onias the fourth. Isaiah
Right.
19.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isaiah
Yeah.
Onias the fourth actually built a temple in Egypt. I believe it was from like 160 BC, and it was torn down in 71 AD by Vespucian.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's also like a cut with like Yahudim talking about, you guys are Egyptians, you guys are Egyptians. Okay, so
Who?
if we're Egyptians, then that means we're the Lord's too.
Who said you're? Someone said that you're an Egyptian.
Someone,
This
well, a guy, a guy named Yehudium.
Interesting.
He's been going around trying to teach that Native Americans are Egyptians.
Interesting.
Hamites, right?
That's my
And
first
he's
time
lost
hearing that.
15 times.
Yeah, and he has debated the Philistine Slayer right here, the one that you're seeing in the screen. He's debated the Philistine Slayer, and he's lost 15 times against the Philistine Slayer. So
Is he?
I don't
Are you
understand.
actual Philistine? Oh
No,
wait,
the
no.
No,
He's a
Philistine Slayer,
Philistine slayer.
Slayer. Okay, okay.
right?
Is he also Hispanic? I assume he is.
Yeah, Mexican, I believe. I think he's Mexican.
Does Hispanic mean Mexican or does it mean something else?
Well, Hispanic, like the term Hispanic, will be more like you're
Spaniard.
Spaniard, yeah, like of Spaniard descent. But
They
Uh,
but
just gave
but
it a
many
name.
many of Latin American countries use it as a
General
synonym
term.
to,
Yeah.
yeah, like a synonym to, like, oh, you're so-called Mexican or Latino or South American, Central American, bro.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
a name
just
they
being a
put
little
on us. It
PC,
don't belong to us.
Yeah, I was just being a little, PC, just trying to make sure I get the right terms. Don't want to offend anyone.
You're good, bro. You're good. Anything else, bro? Anybody else want to say anything else before we go into the main topic, bro? Because I'm dying to talk about these clown right here.
Yeah, I'm
That
good. I think I'm just gonna head off. This was interesting. It was nice talking to you guys. So maybe I'll
Hey man,
pop up
it's
again
good to
one day.
meet you. Good to meet you, Avery. Thanks for bringing out certain things and having a dialogue with us, bro. Again, we invite everybody else to have dialogue with us, and we're open minded. We'll hear you out, bro. We'll go back and forth in a peaceful manner, bro. Just like
Hmm.
the way it's supposed to be, So you're more than welcome to come back again. As many times as you want.
All right, facts, bro. Thanks. All right, y'all have a good rest of your day. All right,
All right, man.
peace.
Shalom. You have a great night. All right.
Shalom. All right, shalom. Peace.
Shalom, bro. Peace.
You know.
All right. Let's get it. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna talk about Judah and Atzara, these clown right here that is confused as hell. that Jose Vega has already checkmated him many times, especially when Jose Vega goes and joins his lives. Now, on Saturday morning, I believe, I was watching. Obviously, you brothers know that I'm always watching stuff. I'm always paying attention to what people say. I go to the comedic channels. I watch some other stuff. I know what they say. I write down certain things. I take screenshots, bro. I take screen videos of what people say and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So I keep track of what people say. So I was on the on Judah Natsar's live on Saturday morning, bro. So then I said certain things, right? I said, you know, you guys are a bunch of converts. African Americans are a bunch of converts, right? So on and so forth. So obviously he goes and says, as a matter of fact,
No.
let me yeah, there it is. So this is what happened, right? So that's what I said, right? It says, I'm not a convert because obviously you had Judah Natsara saying that I'm a convert, right? And so on and so forth. Obviously, I said, no, I'm not a convert, unlike you African converts who began to convert since the 1400s. Don't make me pull the sources. Then Judah Natsara goes and shares the link so I can join, right? So he's like, Watchman, you are a convert. Hit the link, right? So obviously, I went ahead and I clicked the link, right? And I'm I'm in the panel. No, we're gonna watch what went down when I joined their panel, right? I clicked the link on Saturday morning and I joined their panel. So we're gonna see what happened, and then after that we're gonna debunk some of the stuff that he brought out. After he kicked me out because obviously he didn't want to hear the scriptures, right? So Shalom, stick around. We're gonna do this real quick. We're gonna do a drive-by shooting with the scriptures and facts, bro, in a minute. Just like he tried to do a drive-by shooting. Supposedly, he's always saying, talking about, he's killing us all the time, bro, with quote unquote facts, right? But we're gonna see whether or not the things that he brought out are facts or a bunch of lies, right? Or pseudo information, so on and so forth. So stick around. We're gonna watch the video, probably like 15-20 minutes or so, and then we're gonna debunk some of the stuff that he was barking like the dogs they are. Shalom.
Make me a new email. Wait, who's talking? Oh, okay, wait. Now, this guy, I'm about to make him big. This guy is a convert. Ayash, according to the Torah, are you an Israelite? Because I'm not going to go by genetics. I'm going by the spirit. Are you an Israelite? Let me in, bro. You're in. Who was that boy Blue right there that I was talking to? Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, that was Blue? Yeah, that's me. Okay. I had to know because, okay. Yeah, respect, bro.
Now, watch what he asked me, right? He asked me, oh, I'm not gonna go into genetics. I'm not gonna go into all the shit, right? To prove that whether or not you're an Israelite, right? Now, watch what he said. He said he wasn't gonna go into genetics or some other stuff to prove whether or not I'm an Israelite. He said, like, oh, I'm gonna go by the spirit. I'm gonna go by this spirit, right? That's literally what he said. Now, I'm in the show already. I'm about to ask or answer the question he asked me. He asked me, Ayash, Shamar, because that's how he talks. Prove that you're an Israelite, right? So this is what I did. I went ahead and I opened the Bible and I was about to read Deuteronomy chapter 28, and I was about to break down, the curses and so on and so forth. And this is what happened, right? Now, mind you, he said, Ayash, I'm gonna make you big. I want you to prove me. I'm gonna prove it by the Spirit that you're not an Israel. You're a convert, right? But he said he was gonna prove it by the Spirit. Did he prove it by the Spirit or not? We're gonna find out.
Right. Is this Ayash or is this? Yes. No, this is Shamar, bro. This is Shamar. Shalom, bro. What's up? Well, you're not. Wait. You're not Ayash? Yes, that's Ayash. Ayash, prove you're an Israelite by the Torah, sir.
See, See,
Deuteronomy 28. Talk a lot of crap. Right, Deuteronomy 28, bro. Because you're talking about the spirit, right? Can you talk when you read Deuteronomy 28? Hold on. You asked me a question, right? Hold on, you asked me a question. I'm trying to answer, bro, but you keep talking. So that's all you guys do. Whenever we want to answer your question, hold on, bro. Hold on. Whenever we hold on. Sir, yeah, exactly, sir. I'll be able to answer you.
You hear what he said? Deuteronomy 28 is not the only way, right? Even though that's the main source that a lot of these African converts go to. That's their to go scripture to prove, quote unquote, that they're Israelites, so on and so forth, right? But when I'm about to do the same thing and I'm about to break certain curses and ask certain questions about these curses that I'm about to read, what does he do? He flips out, all the demons come out, and he just starts interrupting and talking over me. Why? Because he doesn't want me to bring out the scriptures. He doesn't want me to read Torah, which is exactly what I did. Now, mind you, when he asked me the question, well, yeah, prove it, but in the Torah, they're an Israelite, right? I literally went straight to Deuteronomy chapter 28. What did he do? He flipped out. Demons came out, bro, and he had a demonic possession, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Your question, right? If you shut the fuck up, I'll be able to answer you some questions, right, sir? Sir. Yes, sir. I'm asking for one, sir. You asked me a question. I'm going to answer, sir. Sir. Are you an Israelite? I am, sir. I'm not. Now, if you shut the fuck up, I'll be able to answer the question, right? According to your question. So, according to your question, why are you using foul language? According to your question, right? According to your question, you asked me whether or not I'm an Israelite. Now, you mentioned something about, are you an Israelite according to the Spirit? Is that what Torah says? Yeah. Deuteronomy 28. No, Deuteronomy 28. Hold on. Yes. Deuteronomy 28. Does Deuteronomy 20? Yes. Hold on. 37 says the Spirit. No. We're talking about Deuteronomy 28, sir. According to Deuteronomy 28, it says that the curses will be the sign. Dumbass. It doesn't say, your spirit is going to be the sign. No, it says the curses will be your sign. I can show you many curses that you African converts do not fit. You want me to show you that? You want me to show you that, sir? Yeah. Okay. Yo, that nigga said you African convert. Come down, bro. Come down. You're right, you're low level. If you want to go over, this is the white man. But when it comes to the scriptures and the curses, this is the devil right here. It's actually picking curses at all. I know you're Israelite. No, come down. Blue rub the white man. Come down, bro. Relax, bro. Sir, relax, bro. Extremely talking about what's not doing any good to you. So relax. I'm talking, brother. I'm gonna tell you that you're the uncivilized one. Y'all ain't eat y'all baby. This is your slave. Hold on. Did the Israelites?
Now, you brothers watch, right? You guys literally watch and heard what happened. I got on the show. He asked me to prove whether or not I'm an Israelite, so on and so forth, right? He was basically saying, well, I'm gonna prove it, by the Spirit. She's not an Israelite. Okay, cool. So then I got on it. He asked me, Ayash, prove it in Torah. He literally said it, right? Prove it in Torah whether or not you're an Israelite. Well, I opened the Bible, right? I opened the Torah and I go to Deuteronomy chapter 28, right? To prove my case. What happened after I opened the Bible and I started reading Deuteronomy chapter 28? He got demons, bro. He got demon possessed. He started talking over me, so on and so forth. Like a lot of these Hamites do, bro. Now, but we're gonna continue to watch.
It's your master. You are paying.
Now, according to them, we're either Spaniards, we're either Mongolians, and now we're Canaanites. Like literally, we're basically like all the nations on the planet. That's basically what's going on. Shalom, shalom. Stick around. We're gonna go over these real quick.
Okay, well, I didn't know I was a black man. I didn't know I was a black man, bro. I didn't know I was a black man with woolly hair. Oh, no, last time I checked, I'm not black, right? Canaanites are black nations, you dumbass. Yeah. What do you read? Bible Hub? What is that? Your source, Bible Hub? Where it talks about the Canaanites being like white with red hair and all sort of shit.
Yeah, because literally the reason why they're saying that the Canaanites are white with like red hair and blue eyes is because they're reading Bible Hub, bro. When you brothers go to Bible Hub, it will literally tell you that the Canaanites are white with red hair and blue eyes, and you know they're fair skin and so and all those other things. Just like JJ's, huh?
Show the Bible Hub. This is like showing everybody what they're talking about.
What was that again?
The Bible Hub thing that you're talking about to show so
Yeah,
everybody can like better understand it.
yeah. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on, stick around. Shalom. Yeah, we're gonna go over these real quick, bro, because I don't want to take too much of your time. But hold on, give me a minute. Let's put Bible Hub, right? Bible Hub.
Hey Jeremiah, while Shamar's looking at that, you was on that live that day, right?
Yeah.
Did you see how I bodied Judah when he tried to take back about how Genesis 9 wasn't fulfilled?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What an idiot!
And then some guy said that African Americans or whatever fulfilled the curses of Canaan. Like I think it was on that actual line. Some dude, I can't remember what his name.
That said what?
Hold on, let me go. Dude said that certain African Americans fulfill the curses of Canaan. Genesis 9. Can you hear me?
Your phone's kind of breaking in and out, but
You're sounding muffled, bro.
I know. Hold on.
What is that? What color?
Red.
What is that? Pepper.
Pepper.
What color?
Can y'all hear me?
yeah.
Yeah, the some dude I think was on that live. He said that like African Americans like they fulfill the curses of Canaan. Genesis 9.
Yeah, Lex Vortex.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Judah was arguing about. He was arguing about that with Lex, and then he was saying that, Lex was telling him was like, "Yo, why y'all been ignoring Jose Vega? He was bringing out talk about how we Canaanites and blah 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 blah." And that's what Judah was like, "Well, he's bugged up because Genesis 9 hasn't even been fulfilled yet. That's a future prophecy, blah 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 blah." But then later on, like 10 minutes later, he was talking about how some Negroes in America are Canaanites. Well, last time I checked, those Negroes that were in here from America came here on fucking slave ships, just like the rest of the other freaking Negroes. What the fuck you talking about? But yet you're telling me that that they didn't fulfill Genesis 9 when you just admitted that they did. Even though when I said that, even Lex caught that. He was like, "Ooh, body." Like, bro, I just caught him double talking, bro. It was horrible, bro. Matter of fact, I'm probably gonna do a video on Facebook about that. You know what I'm saying? Showing how Judah Nazareth admitted that Negroes are Canaanites. So who's M? He's an NM Vlog. Hello, welcome my channel, Gino. Oh, canal. Okay, canal. Yeah, I understand we're speaking
Yellow,
Spanish.
black, yellow, this green, broccoli, red chili pepper, red.
Yeah, man. Yeah, stick around. I'm still looking for that thing, bro. I read that article 2 years ago, bro, when I talked to one of these ex IUIC member, bro, and then he was literally saying the same thing, saying that the Canaanites are basically white people with red hair and blue eyes. So let me see. Hmm. Shalom, everybody. Stick around. Just give me a minute. I'm looking for this thing, bro. Again, going back to a lot of the statement a lot of these dudes be making, talking about the Canaanites are white people with red hair and blue eyes. They take that from genetic information saying that the Lebanese people are the Canaanites today, like the modern day Lebanese are the Canaanites today. Now, when you look at the Lebanese people, obviously they literally don't look like Negroes. They look like Hispanics and natives, literally, right? So if and we already debated this information on the boards on Facebook many times before. Yeah, and the question is, right? Okay, so if that's the case, if these Lebanese people are the actual Canaanites, well, the next thing to do is to prove, how these Lebanese people were serving all the nations on the planet, right? When did that happen? When did that take place? When did they become servant of servants in order for these Lebanese people to be considered the Canaanites, right? The biblical Canaanites, right? Because the biblical Canaanites, they have a certain vibration attached to them, right? Genesis 9:25, Ezekiel 28, right? Going back to them being, the lowest of the low, being killed off in the seas and the ocean and so on and so forth. So how can the Lebanese people, right? As a matter of fact, let me see. Um, Lebanese, Lebanese people. Now, check this out, right? These are the Lebanese people, right? These are the Lebanese people, right? They consider themselves to be the Lebanese, right? Lebanese, right? All these people right here. Now, according to One West, JJ 7000, and even Judah Natsara, right? He claims that these people are actually the Canaanites. Well, again, Jose Vega just said it, right? He keeps contradicting himself, right? He keeps making claims that the curse of Canaan hasn't been fulfilled. That's a future prophecy that we're waiting to witness on the planet. So if that's the case, so then are we waiting to witness another slavery at a global scale on the planet? You think the nations are going to allow that? A lot of people have come out of these so-called slavery concepts already. So why would they go back to this dark era of slavery? Now, mind you, I'm not saying that there's not nations doing it. I mean, you got Libya doing it, but the whole point is that if Judah Natsara, right, if this clown, where is it? If this clown is saying that the curse of Canaan has not been fulfilled, so then he's saying that we're waiting to witness a global slavery at a global scale, right, all throughout the planet. You know what I'm saying? Yet he makes various claims all throughout his video saying, well, I believe that not all Negroes are Israelites. Some of them are Negropeans. Some of them are, some of them are Canaanites. So wait a minute. You're making statements that, the Canaanite curse has not been fulfilled. Yet you calling me a Canaanite. You calling, other so-called Negroes Canaanites as well. So, make up your mind, dude. Make up your mind, right? So going back to the video. Let's go back to the video, bro. And we're gonna see, his dumb statements once again.
Hey, shalom, y'all. This is Judah Nazareth, the early morning. E-markers was flooded in my phone. They making a new email to it. Wait, who's talking? Oh, okay, wait. Now, this guy, I'm about to make him big. This guy is a convert. Ayash, according to the Torah, are you an Israelite? Because I'm not going to go by genetics. I'm not going to go by the spirit. Are you an Israelite? Let me in, bro. You're in. Who was that boy Blue right there that I was talking to? Yeah, that was Blue. Nice. Yeah, that was Blue? Yeah, that's okay. I
Well,
right. Is this Ayash or is this? Yes. No, this is Shamar, bro. This is Shamar. Shalom, bro. What's up? Wait, you know, wait. You know Ayash? Yes, that's Ayash. Ayash, prove you're an Israelite by the Torah, sir. Deuteronomy 28. You talk a lot of crap. Right, Deuteronomy 28, bro. Because you're talking about the spirit, right? Can you come back when you read Deuteronomy 28? You asked me a question, right? Hold on, you asked me a question. I'm trying to answer, bro, but you keep talking. So that's all you guys do. Whenever we want to answer a question, hold on. Whenever we, hold on. Sir, yeah, exactly. Sir. If you shut the fuck up, I'll be able to answer your question, right? If you shut the fuck up, I'll be able to answer you simple questions, right, sir? Sir. Yes, sir. I asked you for what, sir? You asked me a question. I'm going to answer, sir. Sir. Are you an Israelite? I am, sir. Now, if you shut the fuck up, I'll be able to answer the question, right? So, according to your question, why are you using foul language? According to your question, right? According to your question, you asked me whether or not I'm an Israelite. Now, you mentioned something about, are you an Israelite according to the Spirit? Is that what Torah says? Yeah. Deuteronomy 28. No, Deuteronomy 28. Hold on. Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 20. Yes. Hold on. 37 says the Spirit. No. We're talking about Deuteronomy 28, sir. Because according to Deuteronomy 28, it says that the curses will be the sign, dumbass. It doesn't say, your spirit's going to be the sign. No, it says the curses will be your sign. I can show you many curses that you African converts do not fit. You want me to show you that? You want me to show you that, sir? Yeah. Okay. That nigga said we African. Come down. You're right to a low level. You want to know you're right. This is the way, but when it comes to Israelites and the curses, this is the devil right here. He's right to the curses at all. I know he is Israelite. No, come down. Blue up in the right hand. Come down. No. Relax, bro. Sir, relax, bro. So relax. I'm talking, brother. I'm gonna tell you to the uncivilized women, y'all ain't y'all baby. This is your slave. Hold on. Did the Israelites? No, I know. No. It's your master. Did the Israelites? You are paying up. If he's Israelite, okay, well, I didn't know I was a black man. I didn't know I was a black man, bro. I didn't know I was a black man with woolly hair. Oh, no, last time I checked, I'm not black, right? Canaanites are black nations, you dumbass. Yeah. What do you read? Bible Hub? What is that? Your Bible Hub? Where it talks about the Canaanites being like white with red hair and all sort of shit. Is that it? Bro, that's your Lord. These are your masters. I don't know why you even arguing. You should bow down to them. These are your white masters. All right, cool, bro. All right, so now Deuteronomy 28 verses 22, right? It says, "The Lord shall smite thee with the consumption and with the fever, and with that inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with the blasting, and with the mildew." Now, the word mildew, when you guys look into the Hebrew, it's going into paleness. Yeah, it does. Sir, where is Hebrew in the Torah, sir? Huh? That's why we got Greek words, sir. You're a white man. Cool. Yeah, that's cool, bro. Everybody can talk all this shit, bro. But now answer the question. How are you suffering this curse? How are you guys, are you even pale? No, are you even pale? You asking a question, right? You asking a question to prove whether or not I'm an Israelite or not, right? So I'm asking you a question, right? How are you experiencing guilt? According to the verses, when you're not, are you white? Are you pale? No, it's taking over me. It's not going to do anything to you. It's taking over me. It's not going to help out. I know, yes, I know, bro. I know. You guys are hurt because you guys are actually laughing. You are a white man. You read the sources of that. Come back to the 1400s, how you guys are watching. You're a white man. So, no. Yeah, you're an African man, sir. You're an African man, sir. You're an African man, sir. You're the devil, sir. You're the devil, sir. Come, sir. You want to bring out the devil? You want to bring out the devil? How you guys converted Judaism going back to the 1400s, sir? African man. Yeah. Is that what you got? But her, because all your bullshit is being called out and destroyed, sir. I'm the Almighty, sir. You're the devil, sir. Sir, you're the devil, bro. Cool. You know what the devil means to be against. You're the devil. I'm against your judgment. I'm against your lies. Right? You're exactly. But all you guys can do is be in the show, and try to talk over me instead of trying to let me allow to speak my piece. Right? Because that's what you do. You're such a demon, bro. Sir, you're a goddamn cracker, sir. Sir, you get your ass about shit talking crazy. Cool, bro. Now let's go back to the scripture, bro. Now let's go back to the scriptures, right? Because anybody can talk all this shit. Anybody can talk all this crap. But when it comes to the scripture, bro. But when it comes to the scriptures, none of you actually know the scriptures. You guys don't even take the curses at all, bro. I'm reading it down. Again, this is why you're not letting me speak. This is why you're not letting me speak, bro. This is why you're not letting me speak. Because you know you're about to get cut. Because you're proof the shit that you think that you believe in, right? So, whatever. But whatever. Anyway, Deuteronomy 28 verses 22, where it talks about mildew, bro. That's a parasite. None of you Africans actually fit, bro. Because none of you are pale, bro. You're not Judah, not sorry. You're not pale. That's what the scripture says. That's one of the curses that none of you Africans fit. So sit down, bro. You don't even know what you're talking about. So he told you, African Americans, no, you didn't get calling us anything. So I will show you. Spaceships.
Now, you brothers saw, right? You brothers know, you witness what this clown did the whole time, which was what? He was talking over me. Why? Because he wasn't allowing me to bring the scriptures out, bro. I was about to read the Torah like he asked me to prove, right? He asked me to read it, prove it in Torah, whether you're an Israelite, so on and so forth, right? Yeah, bro. Northern Kingdom, stick around, bro. I'm gonna bring that out in a minute, but just stick around. Yeah, so yeah, he was talking over me the whole time, bro. Meanwhile, I'm over there, calm as hell, trying to read the scriptures, trying to read the Torah as he asked me to do. Yet, this demon right here, all he did is talk all this trash and then kick me out of the show. Why? Because he knew when it comes to the scriptures, and the curses in Deuteronomy chapter 28, none of them fit the curses at all, bro, at all. And I just read him one, which is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 22, when it talks about mildew and how mildew means like to turn pale, like to turn white. Literally, that's one of the curses that befell the nation of Israel at a collective level. Right? So I was going to ask him, okay, so show me how you fit, Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 22. That's just one curse. I can show him various other curses that none of these African converts fit. Now, when he kicked me out, he read this article, right? Jews and Arabs share genetic link to ancient Canaanites, so on and so forth, which is completely off, right? It's completely off. I mean, you brothers can read the article, and it's just a bunch of nonsense, bro. But I'm a fast forward, bro, because he also pulled another article talking about conversos, right? You know, let me see if I can find it, bro. Give me a minute. There it is, bro. Uh, right now, check this out, right? So after he kicked me out, obviously, right? He asked me, you know, his initial statement before he brought me into the show. He said, "I'm not gonna go into genetics. I'm not gonna go into some other stuff. I'm gonna stick with Torah." Now, did he stick with Torah, or did he went into articles? Right? He went into these bullshit articles that he just kept reading. Why? Because he didn't allow me to speak my piece. He didn't want me to bring out the scriptures. He didn't want me to read Torah, which these devils, right? These demons like him hate. They hate the scripture, bro. They hate the Torah that they claim to believe in, bro. Right? You guys witnesses, you guys know what happened. I was about to bring out the scriptures and he kept talking over me the whole time, bro. Now, right, so the genetic legacy of the Spanish Inquisition. Now, I have the article, bro, and we gonna read that, right? It's right here. It says the genetic legacy of the Spanish Inquisition, right? As Spain simultaneously persecuted its Jews and expanded its colonies in the Americas. Conversos, right? Now, he's trying to say that I'm a converso, right? Without him understanding what that word even means, right? The word conversos goes back to what we read in, as a matter of fact, let's read that, right? The word conversos goes back to right, chapter 6. Watch. Hold on. Stick around. Shalom. Chapter 6. Second Maccabees. Second Maccabees. There it is, bro. So again, before I pull the scripture out, let's read this article in a minute, and then we're gonna go into the scriptures. So, all right. So it says, in 1492, best known as the year Columbus sailed to the ocean blue, Spain also decided to expel all practicing Jews from its kingdom. Jews who did not leave and were not murdered were forced to become Catholics. That's literally what it means when it talks about conversos, as in converts, right? Why? Because all the Jews that were living in Spain, right? The actual Jews, like our people, the Sephardic Jews, and a lot of the Jews, especially a lot of the gypsies that were in Spain, which were also the Jews, they were practicing our customs going back to, you know, the Byzantine Empire. You have a lot of gypsies, right? Like we've shown already many times, right? So there was a lot of Jews that were forced to become Catholics. That's basically what it means when it's talking about conversos. It's not saying, well, you know, you're a Jewish convert. That's not what it's saying. But he made it sound that I'm the converso, like I'm the Jewish converso, right? Like as in me becoming Jewish through what do you call it? Proselytizing. What's the word? Proselyte, right? I think that's the word. I don't know. It says, along with those who converted during earlier pogroms, they became known as conversos, right? Who became known as the conversos? The Jews that were forced to become Catholics. That's basically what it's saying. It says, as Spain expanded its empire in the Americas, conversos made their way to the colonies too. Who made the way to the colonies? These Jews that were forced to convert to Catholics. Now, in Second Maccabees chapter 6, verse 6, there was a time under the Greeks that a lot of our people were forced to convert also, right? A lot of our people were forced to convert, right? So we're gonna read that. It says, Second Maccabees chapter 6, verse 6, it says, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Shabbat days or ancient feast, or profess himself at all to be a Jew. You see, and in that day of the king's birth, every month they were brought by bitter constraint to eat, the whole thing. But the whole point is that even back in the ancient times of the Greeks, our people were forced to convert to what? To the way of the heathens, to become Hellenized, right? Which is exactly what took place back in those days in Spain, right? The whole idea behind the word converso, right? Conversos, which these clown, right? These devil, these African converts keep barking about me right after he kicked me out, right? Watch.
You're saying that the Jewish man is the actual African man? You know what? Is that what you're saying, bro? Devils get no run on my channel. Is that what you're saying? You're saying that the Jewish man is the new African man? Okay, see, look, hey. Get your devil ass off my channel, sir. I'm not for boot-looking Negroes. Your crack ass is not gonna come on my channel talking shit. I'm sorry to use language. I'm sorry.
You're not gonna come on my channel, but he told you to hit the link.
Right. Yeah, he's the one that invited me to the channel.
Simultaneously persecuted its Jews and expanded its colonies in the Americas. Conversos secretly came over the New World. Their legacy lives on in DNA. Okay? So these goddamn mestizos.
Now, you heard what he said, right? In the beginning of the conversation, when he brought me to the show, what did he say? Oh, I'm not gonna go into genetics or any other shit. I'm gonna go by the Spirit, right? Yet he's reading, an article where it talks about genetic legacy, right? Now, watch. This is how these dudes are evil as hell, bro. They're literally like devils, bro. They got demons on them, right? Now, check this out. Let me go back to the whole thing again so you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Because, literally, he out of his mouth, he said, I'm not going to go into genetics, right? Listen.
You know what I mean? And it transitions straight up. Stop me, bro. This is the issue that he went. The e-markers was flooded in my phone. Making a new email to it. Wait, who's talking?
Watch. Listen.
Okay, wait. Now, this guy, I'm about to make him big. This guy is a convert. Ayash, according to the Torah, are you an Israelite? Because I'm not going to go by genetics.
I'm not going to go by genetics. Do you hear that?
Sure
he said, I'm not going to go by genetics. Yet, let's fast forward and see whether or not he's a man of truth, right? Let's see. Let's see, right? As he does it. Where is it at? I'm not gonna go by genetics. Yet that's the very first thing he does after he kicks me out. Bunch of devils, bro. Come on, man. There it is. Watch.
Expanded its colonies in the Americas. Conversos secretly came over the New World. Their legacy lives on in DNA. Okay.
You see? Yet he made his statement say, "Oh, I'm not gonna go by genetics." Yet he's about to read a whole article about genetics, right? Not understanding the whole, the whole article in itself when it talks about the converses, which I already explained, right? Now, what these clowns, right? What these devils, these African converts, failed to also show is the fact that many Africans came on this side of the world as conquistadors, right? We already brought this out many times. Now, check this out. It says, Black conquistadors armed Africans in early Spanish America, 1500s, right? It says, the first Africans from Spain were known as Ladinos or Hispanized Africans, you see, and were soldiers, servants, settlers, and slaves. They began to arrive in the Americas as early as the 15th century, many as auxiliaries to the Spanish and Portuguese explorers. As Matthew Restall states, quote, from the very onset of Spanish activity in the Americas, Africans were present both as voluntary expeditionaries and as involuntary colonists, end quote. Restall, 2000, 172. Many people of African descent initially saw passage to the New World as a means of bettering their social and economic positions. Lenders notes, quote, given their numbers and roles in Spanish port cities like Seville and their generally depressed economic conditions, it is not surprising that both free and enslaved Africans hoped to improve their lives by crossing the Atlantic on the earliest voyages of exploration and conquest. And this is why Jose Vega has already brought this out many, many times, that there was a lot of Negroes that were indentured servants, bro. They literally signed up contracts to come on this side of the world throughout the Portuguese and the Spanish and the English conquest of these lands. They literally signed contracts to come and work, bro, for pay. They didn't come here as slaves. So how could they be Israelites if, according to their own logic, right? Since they want to claim, oh, the Negroes that came here as slaves, or which ones? Because there were many thousands of them that came here as indentured servants. They signed up contracts. They came here as soldiers, so on and so forth, as servants, settlers, explorers, bro. So what are you talking about? How are they Israelites? Huh? What doesn't Judah share this information, right? Soko, you are the conquistador. You're the white Spanish, whatever the like, right? It says those who voluntarily set out on expeditions and became part of armed auxiliaries were more likely than those in unarmed roles to gain their freedom. The African pioneers who set out for the New World contributed greatly to the building and maintenance of colonial societies, you see? And the contribution that they made, bro. I brought this up before on a live that I did 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, or I don't know, somewhere. It's on my Facebook page, right? When I talked about how many of these Africans were literally murdering, committing genocide, raping our women back in those days during the colonial times, bro. So this is the contribution that they also greatly added on to the societies, the colonial societies of those days, together with the Europeans. You see, together, meaning the Negroes and the whites. This is also part of the Crafty Council. Says together with the Europeans, they form a specialized and limited pool of human resources circulating throughout the circum-Caribbean area between 1519 and 1600s. 151.6 thousand Africans disembarked on the Spanish American mainland, and another 187.7 thousand over the next 50 years. In all, 50% of all enslaved Africans brought to the New World between 1519 and 1700 disembarked in Spanish America. You see, Africans and their descendants were in an integral part of the exploration of Spanish America from the 15th through the 18th centuries. Spanish expeditions within what will become the United States largely cover Florida and the Southwest. These territories were a part of New Spain, an area which also covered Mexico and Central America. The exploration of these lands required people who would not only open up the land, but settle, develop, and secure the lands as well. How would you secure the land? Ding, 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 ding. By enslaving the indigenous, by killing them off, by robbing their lands. This is why a lot of Africans were given what? Encomiendas. Encomiendas were also given to the Africans, not just to the Spanish white folks that came on the side of the world. It says, African men and women were part of a number of Spanish expeditions. The Panfilo de Narvaez expedition of 1528 from Cuba to Florida is one such example. This expedition included Esteban, perhaps the most notable African male to aid in the exploration of North America. The Coronado expedition of 1540 to southwestern North America included a free African man who later served as an interpreter and would eventually become a Franciscan friar, a Catholic friar, bro, to convert our people to this bullshit of Catholicism and Christianity. It says the Juan Guerra de Reza expedition of 1600 included African soldiers, you see, their mulatto wives and children, and Isabel de Olvera. You see, the mulatto wives, meaning what? They're half white, half black. This is why we brought an article many times where we say that the most mixed multitude of people on the planet are the Negroes, bro. The Negroes are the most mixed multitude of people on the planet, going back to 2,000 years. And we brought this out already. I could bring the article again and read it again, but we're gonna be here all night. But moving on, it says their mulatto wives and children, and Isabel de Olvera, a mulatto woman. These are just three examples of the many expeditions which included Africans and African Americans among their members. The Pamphilio de Navarres expedition gives an example of how Africans potentially adjusted to life circumstances during the Spanish phase of exploration, so on and so forth, bro. I mean, the story it's vast when it comes to the the routes of the explorations of these Africans that walked amongst the Europeans that came and conquered our people, stole their land, secure the land, commit genocide, and rob of our lands, and so on and so forth. But yet you have these devil, these clown, these demon, these African converts talking all this shit about the conversos, right? When in fact they don't know what they're talking about when it talks about the conversos. It's talking about the Jews, right? The Jews that already Jose Vega brought this out many times, that were forced to become Catholics throughout the colonies of Spain and so on and so forth, right? A lot of our people were forced to convert to Christianity and Catholicism back in those days. Even the gypsies, bro. We brought this out many times also. We have a video on the gypsies where we brought this information out, where you have a lot of the gypsies that were traveling, migrating to the west, to the western parts of Europe, which is Spain, in which a lot of the gypsies that were they're actual Jews settle in the land of Spain by means of them pretend to be Catholics. Why? Because that was the only way to survive. That was the only way not to be killed off. So for this clown to be barking about Ayash, 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 Ayash is the converso, right? When he doesn't know what he's even talking about. Is why when he read this article, when you guys watched the video, he kept skipping to certain things, to certain parts of this whole thing, right? Now we know the Sephardic, right? The Sephardic Jews, the Sephardic Jews, bro, they look like our people, right? Let me see, where's it at? Hold on. Look at that. See, these are our people, bro. They look like so-called Hispanics. They look like a Latina woman, bro. Look at that woman. Look at this dude, bro, with the beard. Look at this other dude. He looks like a so-called Puerto Rican, bro. Some sort of Colombian dude, bro. Look at this, bro. Some of these dudes, they look like my uncles, bro. They look like my cousins, bro. Like my nieces, bro, and so on and so forth. Right? Look at that. Those are the black Jews that we always read of in the scriptures, right? But again, going back to, as a matter of fact, later on, he was reading some article about the black Jews or whatever the like. I don't know what he read that for. Let me see. Yeah, man. Just give me a minute. I forgot to write down the time codes on this shit, bro. But this thing, bro. My bad. I keep swearing a lie, bro. Where is it at? Yeah, he brought an article talking about the black Jews, bro. When already Jose Vega brought this information out You know,
Yeah, it was a little bit after when you left, and then I believe was it after I got back on, then he brought up the book about the black Jews being despised by the Negroes.
right, the same shit that he tried to pull off. Like, you see the Negroes, like which ones, bro? Which ones? Those ones? These black Jews? Which ones? Those ones? They still look. They're still black, pigmented Jews, right? And they're still considered black. And once again, anybody that's not white is considered what? It's considered black by this establishment of this world, which is white folks, right? See,
Exactly, Torah magnified. To the white man, everybody that's not them is black, or they look at them as the same.
yeah, man. So yeah, so you know, I mean, and let me we brought this we have brought this out many times, bro. When we talked about the Jews, right? The so-called, again, again. Check this out. Again, they never want to talk about these black conquistadors, the black Spaniards that came on the side of the world to conquer, to commit genocide against so-called Hispanics, or I would say so-called indigenous, pre-colonial times, post-colonial times, bro. Beginning of the 1400s, all the way down to, who knows, 60 years plus, right? These are the same people. These are the people that these clowns like Judah Natsara doesn't want to talk about, right? This devil, right? He doesn't know the scriptures. He doesn't know the timelines of Bible history, so on and so forth. But yet wants to claim that I'm the converso, right? I'm the converso right here. See, converso. They immediately see a word that sounds good to their ears and they just run with it without even understanding the context of the word. Converso. Once again, going back to a lot of the Jews that were forced to become Catholics. When you become something that you're not, you what? You're a convert. You're a converso. That's basically what it means. Just like our people were being converted by force during the times of the look at that. Look at the Inquisition times where our people were being persecuted and the Jews were being persecuted, witches being burned out. When I say witches, I'm talking about healers, our shaman woman back in those days, and so on and so forth. But that's another subject in itself. Yeah. So, they never want to talk about these devils that came and pillaged and committed genocide against our women, rape our women, and so on and so forth. And this is exactly why, later on, back in the 1800s, you find many pictures or some of the pictures where you have a lot of Negro, African indigenous people, half and half. Why? Because of the rape that took place prior to this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Now,
Shamar, share my screen real quick. I got a picture of a black conquistador with the other conquistadors.
Okay, hold on. All right.
Shalom.
Let me
Shalom.
see
it. Share my screen. Put it on the big one. The Yemenite Israelites.
All right, give me a minute, bro. Vega, you there, bro? Gemini, bro. Let me see. What are you gonna share? All right, hold on. All right.
My fault.
All right, Vega.
Hold on. I'm about to show it to your screen. All right, there you go. You see it?
Oh, I see it. Hold on. There it is. There it is. Yeah, man. See, this is what I'm saying. A lot of these clowns are not gonna show like this crafty council between white Europeans and these Hamites that came on the side of the world to destroy our people, bro. To bring all this nonsense and stupidity of Christianity and Catholicism to our people, to destroy the minds of our people. right? They have the audacity to call us conversos and all this other names, bro.
They're the converts.
I know. I got more. Hold on.
Right.
They're the converts. There's some Yemenite Israelites on my picture.
I'm not fault. I forgot to share it. Hey man, I can share it. All right, you can share that one too.
All right, let me see it. Yeah, I see it, bro. I see it. Everybody can see it, bro. Once again, the black conquistadors. You know, a lot of these scams always want to focus on the so-called white conquistadors, Spaniards, and so on and so forth, but they never want to talk about the black conquistadors that came on the start of the war too, right? It's like the scripture says, you know, an unbalanced, scale is an abomination to the Most High. Anyways, anything else you want to share, bro?
Say again.
Anything else you want to share?
Oh yeah, I got. Oh, you know, you know, I got those type of images for days, man. Hold on. Let me get another one. Find another one.
Bro, so yeah, man. Even when I wasn't after I get kicked out, bro. I'm hanging out in the chat.
Somebody's Wi-Fi is messed up. Keep getting kicked out. I don't know what it is.
Oh, you got kicked out again?
Yeah.
Oh, here.
All right, I'm back.
Okay,
Yeah, I was saying, bro. I was saying, after I got kicked out from Judah Natsaras, right? I spent my time going back and forth and debating with these dudes on the boards. Now check this out. I was going back and forth with this dude, right? Inawa Yahweh Yashral, right? And
That
he
guy's
said,
an idiot.
I said twerking, the one that twerking the best is Israelite. You see that? And the reason why
Bro,
he said
that,
that is
oh my God.
yeah, bro. Check this out. He quoted Deuteronomy chapter 7:6. It says, "For thou art unholy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth." So then I asked him, like, okay, show me where is twerking, being the best basketball players, the best football players on the planet is part of is part of the science that you're an Israelite. And, you know, show me where twerking is, right? And then he was and says, I said twerking, the one that twerking the best is Israelites, bro. How is that in the
No.
scriptures? Where is that in the
Mm,
scriptures, bro?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
they'll
saying?
try to use the they'll try to use our salt of the earth. Like, dude, stop it. That doesn't even mean that. And to add on to
Exactly.
that,
I asked him the
go ahead,
same
bro.
thing, bro. I asked him, like, listen, bro. I even asked him Sayan, because the dude Sayan it was there too, going back and forth with me too, like among other dudes, you know, going back and forth with me. So when I was
Yeah.
going back and forth with them, I'm like, Sayan, explain to me what does it mean to be the salt of the world, right? Of the earth. None of them could ever explain. They just kept saying bullshit and nonsense. But, bro, at the end of the day, to be the salt of the world, bro, is to be the preserver. Why? Because back in ancient times, the only way to preserve your meats was if you put salt on your meat.
Yeah.
That's the only way that you would guard, protect, and preserve the meats. So when we read about in the scriptures that we are the salt of the world, it doesn't mean that, oh well, you know, if you're the best twerker, that means you're the salt of the world. You're the light of the world. That doesn't mean that, bro. It means that we're supposed to be the guardians. The world's salt. It goes in conjunction with us being the guardians, the watchmen, the protectors, the keepers, right? The preservers of what? The truth. Yet You have these Hamites, right? You have these African converts that's talking about twerking. If you're the best twerker, that means you're the Israelite. That's basically what it means. It's not Mexicans. You see that? See,
And
not
you
the
know what's crazy?
Mexicans.
You know what's crazy?
What?
That whole twerking shit is an African custom, a Hamite custom.
It
Like
is.
I have some video of some women in Africa doing the same thing. So if they're gonna say, "Oh, this proves you're an Israelite," like, dude, stop it. You're only proving you're a Hamite because Hamites are the more people pleasers and wanted to be world renowned and obsessed with wealth and shit, like Jay-Z and all those rappers.
Right. You see, man. So that's exactly what we were talking about earlier when we talk about Zephaniah 3:13. Talks about the remnant of Israel shall not speak lies, nor deceitful tongue shall be found in their mouths. Yet you got these clowns, right? These African converts saying that if you're the best twerker, that means you're the Israelites, not the Mexicans. You see, so on and so forth. But moving on.
No, oh, and they also say that like how they say salt of the earth, and with the music, they say that black people make some of the best gospel music. Well, you have white people or so-called Edomites, whatever, that make gospel music that's pretty good. You have I know a few Latino or whatever, right? Gospel artists, gospel rap artists that are Latinos and stuff that are not so-called Negroes. So if you're gonna say that, then that means they're Israelites as well. But they don't see that.
Bro, it's also stupid for them to say like I was even going back and forth with them when they're talking about oh the so-called black man has made many inventions and so on and so forth. I'm like, okay, well, show me that in the scriptures, because when we read the scriptures we know that the great sculptors, bro, the great carpenters, the great masons, the great artisans, bro, the best people that do metallurgy and all these other things were who? The Canaanites. As a matter of fact, King Solomon was the one that hired a lot of these Canaanites that were all of those things that I just mentioned. So for them to
Yep.
say, well, we did inventions back in the slavery years. That means that we are the Israelites because we're on top of the world, the best. And bro, stop.
Exactly. It makes no sense. Plus, it's weird how they say, "Oh, all this stuff proves you're Israelites." Okay, well, there's no prophecy, right, in Torah where it says Israel would be great inventors in captivity or whatever, right? Because we know, I think it's Deuteronomy 28:20, I believe, where it says that something where, like, no matter what we try to do, nothing will work out for us. So, like, that, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. Exactly, bro. So check this out. Out of the book of the secret teachings of all ages, right? Um, Page 234, right? It says the Hiram legend. Right now, we know that Hiram was who? Hiram was one of the three Canaanite kings back in those days during the times of I would say the Solomonic timelines and so on and so forth. So now check this out. It says it says Solomon. Uh, it says Solomon made an agreement with Hiram of Tyre, promising vast amounts of barley, wheat, corn, wine, and oil as wages for the masons and carpenters from Tyre, who were to assist the. Hiram also supplied cedars and other fine trees, which were made into rafts and floated down the sea to whence they were taken inland by Solomon's workmen to the temple. Law for Solomon, Hiram of Tyre, also the grand master of the Dionysiac architects. You see, Hiram Abif, a widow's son who had no equal among the craftsmen of the earth. You see, Hiram is described as being a Tyrian by birth, but of Israelitish descent. He was a half Israelite, half Canaanite, and of a second Bezaleel, honored by his king with the title of father. And this is why you have a lot of these masons that basically do rituals to the Hiram Abif, and this is basically like the what would you call it? Remember that guy that died when this whole riots began? What was his name? George Floyd. Yeah, George Floyd was basically a sacrifice in the what would you call it in the honor of Hiram Abif, a widow's son. Why? Because George Floyd was a widow's son. Going back to the Hiram and all these Masonic symbolism and sacrifice that they did, and this is when this whole thing began, all these riots, and then Black's Life Matters movement, and all this other bullshit. But anyway, so it says, the most cunning, skillful, and curious workman that ever lived, whose abilities were not confined to building alone, but extended to all the kinds of work, whether in gold, silver, brass, or iron, whether in linen, tapestry, or embroidery, whether consi- whether considered as an architect, statuary, founder, or designer, separately or together, he equally excel. You see? So, the canonized, bro, these canonized were known to be the greatest. As a matter of fact, what does Torah says? That they were the more mightier and stronger than who? Than the Israelites. What do you think? Why didn't King Solomon hire Israelites to build a temple? Because the Israelites were not known to be great sculptors and all those other things, bro. You know what I'm saying? The canonized were all the time.
Especially like they say, oh, like, oh, where do we do all this and
Now,
that, so that proves we're Israelites.
let's
But then when you, okay.
let's make the point, right? Let's make the point, because according to where is this clown? According to this clown, this devil, this demon, right? These African converts, right? I'm the what? I'm the converso, bro. Right here. Where he read it out of an article, right? Even though he said he wasn't gonna read about genetics and all this stuff, yet he went on his own word, because they don't have a word. They don't have honor when they go to war, right? But whatever. Conversos, right? According to this clown, right? These devil, these African converts, these Hamites, Philistines, or Canaanites, right? I'm the converso, right? According to this article that he read, supposedly, even though he said he wasn't gonna go into it, but whatever. Now, we're gonna go into the records and show that these Africans, right, that came on the side of the world, between the 1400s, 1600s, during the time of the slave trade, all the way back to the 1800s, they're the converts. They're literally the converts, bro. And we are about to prove that in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It says, the soul of Judaism, Jews of African descent in America, by Bruce D. Haynes, right? So we are about to read a few pages, right, showing a lot of these Africans, right, of the diaspora of the 1600s, perhaps going back to the 1400s, being what? Being converts, right? Like we've always been saying, right?
Yeah.
We've always been saying. Now check this out. Check this
Hey,
out.
Ayash, before you get
Now,
to that real quick, I sent an article in the private chat real quick. When you're
what are
done
we
with that, check it out. Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I don't think Ayash can hear you.
Yeah, if you can, do let him know that I put an article in the back chat or the private chat. It's about the reemerging scam of the Jews in Nigeria. It's pretty good. You should read it.
all right, here it is. Again, going back to the book that I just showed you guys. So I'm gonna read this real quick. Oh shit, I can't enlarge. You guys can see it, right? So it says, the first modern day black African or Negro to undergo a formal conversion, you see, to Judaism was discovered in the record of the Inquisition of 1474. According to the record, Salonio di Castro Johanni, from the house of Hawala di Castro Johanni, underwent a circumcision at the hands of some Jews from the city of Marsala. During the 16th century, a rather large contingency of African descent Jews, both converted Africans and Euro-Africans, was incorporated into the Jewish community of Amsterdam, you see. While there's no basis on which on which to calculate the exact percentage of African slaves who formally converted to Judaism in Europe or the Americas. The practice clearly worried authorities. Pope Gregory IX complained about it, and Christian legislation in the 14th century routinely made reference to banning the circumcision of non-Christian slaves. Responsa or rabbinic writings on biblical law from the early modern Mediterranean show Jews seeking legal clarification of practices, right? Scholars have identified the importance of the Atlantic um, in the in the shaping in the shaping in shaping the African and Jewish diaspora, you see, the African and Jewish diasporas, which intersected in colonial society. After Portugal and Spain joined under a single monarch in 1580, many Jews, you see, and conversos fled. You see, this is what Judah Natsar, that demon, was talking about. The Jews and the conversos, meaning the Jews that converted to Catholicism, right? It says many Jews and conversos fled first to the Netherlands, where they could openly practice their Judaism, and later to Dutch and British control areas in the New World, right? Such as Caracas, arriving in 1651. Um, Guyana, 1651, Jamaica, 1677, Barbados, 1654, which offer um, it says which offer them varying degrees of religious and national freedom. Um, it says re- studies of rabbinic response reveal that many Jews fleeing the Inquisition took their maid servant, you see, and slaves with them. You see, going back to these Africans being the slaves of slaves, the lowest of the low, right? What we read in the scriptures, right? And then you have these demon called Judah Natsura, right? Talking about, oh, the curse of Canaan hasn't been fulfilled. Then why do we see these massive amounts of so-called Africans at a collective level going into slavery globally to many nations, including the Jews, right? It says, um, uh, studies of rabbinic response reveal that many Jews fleeing the Inquisition took their maid servants and slaves with them. Curacao and Suriname became the two largest Jewish communities in the New World, you see. So again, going back to the 1400s, you have a lot of these Africans that were the actual conversos, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, let me see if we can read some more, bro. Let's read some more. It says, uh, the largely Sephardic communities that spread across the Black Atlantic continue to practice all world Judaism, which recognized slavery in biblical terms. As slaves of Jewish owners were often immersed in mikveh to legitimate their bondage, a practice that stems back to Egypt. Household slaves were often converted via circumcision in accordance with the Torah, which mandates that all male slaves be circumcised, Genesis 17:12 to 13, or immersion to render them ritually proper to prepare kosher foods. Renowned historian and merchants of the early 1600s often accused Portuguese conversos, you see, the Portuguese conversos, of continuing to practice Judaism in secret and filing the Americas, you see, and filing the Americas with Africans who held heretical beliefs. Between 1636 and 1654, northeastern Brazil was one of the few havens in the Western Hemisphere where Jews could openly practice um, their religion. They were also granted rights to residence and to trade and retail, which included slavery. You see, a bunch of Negroes being sold. Once again, Sephardic Jews transformed their new world communities by formally converted numerous African servants and slaves, you see, in accordance with biblical law and producing Euro-African offspring, you see. Again, going back to what we've been saying, that the so-called Negroes, they're the most mixed individuals on the planet, right? Uh, Reading that, Rabbi Funei described to me one Afro-Jewish community in Brazil. It says, I've been in touch with a community in Brazil in Sao Paulo, where I'm told that there are nearly 200,000 Brazilians who the father is Jewish and the mother is African, of African descent, black Brazilian, and they're interested in converting to Judaism. You see, but the reform and the conservative rabbis down there are telling them it will cost them 3,000 an individual to convert, making it very prohibitive. So I'm going to try to find a couple of rabbis from the community here, the white community, who would be willing to go to Brazil with me. The community members would pay the way, start up some classes, make trips down there every 3 months or so forth, and they tell me to join with the classes and with their studies. While formal recognition of sexual relationships between Jews and Africans, along with their inclusion as co-reli- co- co-religionist, was discouraged in early colonial communities, it was not forbidden. Two particularly important places of contact between African and Jews were the Jewish village Jodensvane and the capital city of Paramaribo, which lay 40 kilometers to the north along the banks of the Suriname River, Ben-Ur and Ben-Ur, earning the nationalistic sobriquet Jerusalem by the riverside. Jodensaven was arguably the most politically independent Jewish community in the New World, complete with its own synagogue, a school, and militia, while the militia searched for maroons, you see, runaway slaves, the maroons, marranos, right? The so-called Negroes that were runaway slaves. Some 210,000 African slaves were traded at the colony between 1667 and the 1820s. Jewish enslaved children grew up together in the same household, speaking the Portuguese-based Creole, the Jew Tongo, and sharing Anisitori, West African spider stories. See, West African spider stories. It says the children of Jewish men and African slaves were frequently given Jewish names. You see, they were given Jewish names. This is why there's Negroes pulling up this list of like Negro slaves with like Hebrew names. Why? Because they were converted going back to the 1400s. Duh, right? It says the children of Jewish men and African slaves were frequently given Jewish names and Jewish upbringings. You see, um, cultural transmission between Jews and Africans seems widespread. One prominent 18th century observer reported 4 villages and plantations of Jewish maroons. You see, Negroes, Jewish, converts, bro, converts, the real converts among the Juka tribe, right? In fact, even the Saramakan Maroon clans names come from the Jewish owners of the plantations from which their ancestors escaped centuries earlier. In the Paramaribo, one can find traditional Jewish tombstones marked with African symbolisms. You see, African symbolism, not Hebrew, like a lot of these African converts are claiming to be. Like, oh, you see, and this is why you have a lot of these Negroes, like these Africans converts that go back and read like books from the 1800s talking about, you see, the black Jews. You see, you have black Jews and so on and so forth. Like, okay, cool. Well, why they were black Jews? Because we clearly see, in this short historical evidence that there was a bunch of Africans that were converted by the thousands, going back to the 1400s. So it says, uh, frequently Jewish men converted female African slaves so they could marry them as Jews. In some cases, slaves were emancipated following their conversion to Judaism, while community leaders often defended traditional Jewish identities and practices. Color and freedom and statues eventually, that's it. That's it. So right there, you see. All right, let me read the article that Jeremiah Joshua shared with us. Hold on, bro. Hold on. Oh yeah. All right. My bad. I got kicked out because I was looking at the link that Jeremiah Yasharal sent me. So I'm gonna read that in a minute. But yeah. So once again, these demon claims that I'm a converso, even though he doesn't understand the word converso within the context of the article that he read about genetics. Even though he said he wasn't gonna read anything about genetics, he was gonna keep it Torah only, right? Even though I kept the Torah only, I went into the scriptures to prove my case, so on and so forth. Yet, you know, their demons come out when we read the Torah, right? Their demons come out when we read the book, right? They get demonic possession or something happens to their spirit, bro. Then all of a sudden they start talking over us and so on and so forth, right? But yeah, so let me end this live in a minute. Before I do, bro, let me just read these small article that Jeremiah sent me, bro. I didn't know that Ben Cuevas, bro. That's crazy. Can you post it on the Guardians of Truth page for us? Yeah, bro. I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna make a post with those pages that I just shared for you brothers to have in your arsenal when you battling these African converts, bro. These Negro lies, these One West dudes, bro. But yeah, um, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, bro. I know where to go because I brought this out 4 or 5 years ago, bro. As a matter of fact, I brought this out 4 years ago, and so I know what to read, bro. I'm gonna scroll down, but something happened with my computer. But hold on. Oh man, Shalom, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. Welcome to Monday Night Smoke. Well, we're pretty much done. I just wanted to do a little brief, very brief review on Judah Natsar's live video that I was invited into to join his panel on Saturday morning. And obviously he asked me a question. I was about to prove it in the scriptures, without going to any outside sources. Yet, when I was about to prove my case with the scriptures, what happens? You brothers witnessed it. You brothers saw. He started talking over me. He started screaming and telling me, "Sir, sir, sir, sir." Bro, calm down, right? All he could have done is just be quiet, let me bring it out, and then if he wanted to debunk what I brought out, she could have done that. Yet they chose to act like a bunch of animals, like a bunch of dogs, like a bunch of monkeys that they are. Yeah, I'm gonna use the word since they've called us all these names, right? They called us wetbags, they called us, all sorts of derogatory names. Yet if we say it, they lose their minds, bro. It's the end of the world, bro, right? But what are you gonna do with this African converts but expose them, right? That's what we do, bro. We expose their nonsense, their stupidity, and so on and so forth. But my computer's acting out, man. Let me
It's
see if
all
I
good. I
can.
mean, it's a very lengthy article, though.
Yeah, I know it's very lengthy, bro, but I know where to go. Like there's like three passages that go straight to the point, bro. I read the article already, but I want to read it for people. It's gonna take like 3 minutes. Literally 3 minutes is gonna take me to go there and just read that little part, bro. Because
And it keeps kicking them off.
no, man, I don't know what's going on, bro. My computer's acting up, so I think we're gonna call it a night, man. I wish I could have read the article that Jeremiah, the Philistine Slayer, sent me. It's a good article. Maybe I'll read it on Friday night. Friday night, Miami. If you brothers come back on Friday night, Miami, I'll read it for you guys. But other than that, man, we're gonna close it out. Thanks for sticking around. For those who stuck around all the way until the end, I hope you guys were edified or you learned at least some sort of percentage of something out of this podcast. Other than that, I'm glad you guys were here. Thank you for being here and tuning in. Once again, we're always here, Monday, Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All those who came in, talk with us and share bread and, share information, had a dialogue with us, bro. Appreciate you. Hope you guys come back. Other than that, you guys are more than welcome to, join the panel next time and share what you want to share, man. Phyllis and Slayer, you gonna say anything?
No, I was gonna say shalom. I gotta go to sleep. Gotta
All right,
go to
man.
smoke.
All right, dude, bro. Do your thing, bro. Have a great night, man.
Yeah,
We'll see you around.
you too, bro.
Other than that, everybody, thanks for checking us out, man. Once again, I appreciate you guys. Don't forget share, like, and subscribe. We'll see you around, bro. I love you guys. You guys are great. Keep us in your prayers, bro. Keep me in your prayers, bro. I'm still dealing with like coughing and all this sort of stuff. And keep my family in your prayers as well. You guys stay safe. I usually play my song and at the end, but I can't play it. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Shalom. You guys have a great night. Adara Yashral, check messages and inbox. Shalom. On Facebook or on here? Because I don't see any messages from you here. I don't see anything. Shalom, everybody. Shalom. Anybody else want to come in, man? I shared the link just in case anybody wants to come in for the last minute. At the last minute. Other than that, we're gonna sign out. I'm tired. I gotta go to bed too. I need to take I need to drink water. All right, Daria Shra, I'll check out your message. Hopefully, it's not some some crazy stuff like a lot of these jihad members be doing for quite some time, harassing my page all the time, which is why I have blocked some of you people out there. Servant of Yahweh. Oh, here it is, man. Servant of Yahweh. Shalom, bro.
What's up, bro?
What's
So
going
yeah,
on, man?
I haven't been gone for a little bit,
Where you been?
'cause um somewhere just I didn't have access to internet. So what I'm trying to say is that what I'm saying, like, yeah, you're right about the Spanish from Jerusalem. So that's what we call Chicanos, the house of
Right.
David, right? And like you already know how it's just Yahweh alone, right? And like and I understand like what you're trying to say, like Shem was like a Native American. It was like Shem came over here too. Shem. That's the way you get a lot of like the shaman.
Yeah.
So like, but like in Spain, the house of David, but there was also among the what you call those the Africans, the we call Canaanites, right? There were also the Levites, and in North America there was also Simeon among them, and so and like, hold on, just don't call me out, bro. So basically, what I'm trying to say is like, according to the scripture, I understand what you people trying to say, like these people taking advantage of people, like saying not the right things or like for money, cause it's not the truth. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like black supremacy. It's not white supremacy. It's Yahweh. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
hold on, bro. What are you
Uh,
talking about? They
look,
been pushing
yeah,
black
yeah.
supremacy, man. What are you
I know,
talking
I
about?
know, I know, I know, but I'm
Okay,
not
then
talking about them. I'm not talking
then
about them. I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about that they're
well,
Levites and they're same. I'm talking among them. That's what I'm saying. All right. So how do you know who is not an Israel, who is not a descendant
we
of Israel
understand that, bro.
according to the
We
scriptures?
listen. The waters,
Yeah,
bro.
cause
The waters,
yeah,
bro. The waters. We know, bro. We've said this many times. There's Negroes that are gonna be Israelites. We say all the time, bro. But it's not the majority, bro. And obviously, we know that, you know, there's a
I
lot of them that
understand.
are gonna
Yeah,
be Hamites. Excuse me, sir. There's gonna
right.
be a lot of them that are gonna be. Hold on, let me mute you, bro, because I hear an echo. Hold on. All right, I got you on mute, bro, because I hear my own voice, bro. But what I'm saying is this: you keep bringing the same rhetoric, bro, every single time you get on our show, bro, and every time you get on our show, you say the same thing, which we already clarify many times over, bro. Throughout all our lives, bro, on Facebook, on the comment section, on the comment boards, when we battle a lot of these dudes, we always say the same thing. There's gonna be Negroes that are Israelites also. They might look Africans also. They might have like Hamitic phenotypes and so on and so forth. But that's not all of them, bro. Because at the end of the day, you also have to find. I mean, you have to also consider the prophecies concerning a lot of these Canaanites that were left amongst us, just like it happened during the ancient times. It's happening again. just like the Egyptians were also left amongst us as well, just like the Jebusites, just like the Hittites, just like the Amorites, and so on and so forth. These dudes, these people are amongst ourselves, and you can't deny that because they're part of the crafty council. They're part of the crafty council, bro. So for you to try to defend their black supremacy ideology, it just baffles my mind sometimes, bro. Like, bro,
I did not say that what you said right now. You just accused me of something I did not say. So, anyways, what I was trying to say is that, all right, and also when the Spanish, there were also other Spanish, right? The white, so Vatican, right? There was
I
also
already
them.
said that.
There,
Yeah, I
there were
already
them
said.
also, right? All right, but
I
there were also the other ones, right? Saying, but what were they pushing around that time? What they were Christianity, right? What they call the so-called New Testament, right?
Of
That's what they
course,
were pushing.
Catholicism.
All right, so
No, they
and
weren't.
since
Hold on,
Spain since Spain,
they weren't pushing
you
New
read the
Testament.
article. You read
Hold
the
on.
article. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
yeah, I read the article, but it didn't
Yeah.
say nothing about the New Testament. They were pushing Catholicism, bro. Catholicism.
Christianity.
Exactly, Catholicism.
It
Like
was the same thing as
Catholicism.
the new so-called New Testament. All right.
Not
So my
really,
point.
not really,
What
because Christianity,
what's the
they don't.
difference?
Hold on, well, there's a big difference. I'm gonna show you.
Yeah.
Because I grew up
How does it
Catholic. Like,
elevate us?
hold on, bro. Yeah, I get it. I get all that, bro. Believe me, I do. But Catholicism, they don't read the New Testament. Catholicism has to do with a bunch of idolatry. Literally, you have to bow down to these idols and the Pope and whatever the like. Meanwhile, Christianity, you go to a Christian church, there is no idols. So that's the only difference. Other than that, Christianity is basically like the sisters that came out of the Catholic Church. It's the same thing in the aspects of the Hellenized understanding, but when it comes to like the physical forms of, you have Catholics that bow down to various saints in Latin America, bro. So no, Christianity and Catholicism are not the same in that aspect.
Oh yeah. All right. So let me just go. All right. So he's talking about idols and stuff like that. So like in the spiritual level, all right. So you have Yahweh in your mind, but you have a man in your mind too. What do you have? Do you have something else? Like for example, this is the what the theology the Christianity has. You know what I'm saying? Or what? Well, I'm trying to say the Vatican. Like Yahweh, like to get to Yahweh is going to require a man to come from the sky, right,
Hold
and
on,
save
hold
us.
on, hold
Or
that thought,
how does
hold that, no,
salvation?
no,
What's the
hold that thought,
process
bro,
of?
hold that thought,
Yeah,
hold that thought,
yeah.
hold that thought, hold that thought. Because you just made a statement saying, in order to get to Yahweh, you have to have a man in your mind. Okay,
You
so,
don't.
but
You
hold
don't. You
on,
don't. You don't. I didn't
hold
say
on,
that,
you made,
bro. Do you have to?
no,
I'm
you,
asking you a question. Do you
I
have
know
to?
where
I'm
you're
asking
going.
you a question.
Listen, I
All
know
right.
where you're going with it because you're making it sound like, okay, what do we need to do in order to get to Yahweh? To have a man in our minds? In other words, a mediator? Is that what you're asking me?
No, I'm asking you according to the scriptures, like salvation for our people. All right, saying how what is salvation and what is unique,
Salvation. Okay,
yeah,
salvation is according to Torah, right? According to Torah,
to the
salvation.
scriptures, yeah.
Yeah, according to Torah, salvation is being saved from our enemies. That's all throughout Torah. Us being saved from the hands of our enemies, that's the real salvation. Now, you're trying to connect the dots in what we believe because we believe in Christ, right? You're trying to make it seem like, hold on, let me put you on mute, bro, because I always hear my voice when you're on the show, bro. I don't know why. It's crazy. Bunch of demons are like playing around in the airwaves and stuff, bro. But whatever. So
That's another accusation. Yahweh
hold
was in
on, bro.
Jerusalem.
Hold on. Let me just finish my train of thought, right? I'll let you speak. So you're saying that our belief in Christ is what's in our minds and is between us and the Most High. That's basically what you're trying to accuse us of. But the other, we can also do the same thing. Who was standing between the Most High Yahweh and the people back in ancient times?
Yahweh rose up on a
Brother,
lion, a
brother, brother,
ruler,
answer the question,
Moses.
bro. Answer
that
the
was
question.
connected to Yahweh
Listen, no, listen,
in ancient
listen,
times.
listen
And the
carefully.
Psalm says our
Listen,
people are connected to Yahweh too.
I got you. Yeah, we know that, bro. We know. But answer the simple question. Who was standing between Yahweh and the people back in ancient times?
Can you specifically your question what you're trying to say? So you're saying that you would need a
No,
person
no, no, no,
in
no, no, no.
order.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything, brother. I'm asking you a simple question that you're also having a trouble answering.
All right,
I
ancient
ask
times,
you.
Genesis and Genesis.
No,
What
okay.
ancient time? Talking about Genesis in the beginning. You
Okay.
want to talk about Genesis? Right.
Let's be more specific. Let's be more specific. Who was standing between the Mosai Yahweh and the Israelites during the Exodus?
Yahweh raised up Moses, like I
Brother,
told you.
brother. See, you can't be honest with your own self, bro.
I'm telling you how.
I'm about to kick you out, bro. See, once again, everybody heard, right? Everybody understands my question. Who was standing between Yahweh and the people after the Exodus took place? Who? Who was that man? It was Moses. It was Moses. See how easy that is, bro? I literally specifically asked you a question. Who was standing between the Most High and the people during the time of the Exodus or after the Exodus? Moses, he was one of the Levites, right? Now we can go farther out. Who was standing between the Most High and the people during the Day of Atonement? Because the whole thing about the atonement is that you couldn't atone for your own sins unless you go through the high priest first. You had to go through the sons of Aaron. I mean, you had to go through Aaron first in order to atone for your own sins, right? So why is that difficult to understand that all throughout the history of our people of the 12 tribes, we have always had mediators between men and the Alahayim. That's always been a norm amongst the nation of Israel. So I don't understand why is it so difficult for you guys to understand that we've always had saviors, that we've always had mediators between men and the Most High, bro. So I don't understand, bro. Right, exactly. The high priest. The high priest was in between the Most High, Allahayim, or Yahweh, and the people, or Ahaya, however you want to call the Most High, whatever name you want to use, right? Obviously, you guys know that I don't use Yahweh. So exactly, Northern Kingdom, exactly. So we have always had saviors amongst us, bro. I don't understand why is it so difficult to answer simple questions like that, bro. And this is why every time I bring the waters into the panel, bro, I always get a headache because it's the simple question that you brothers don't even have the capacity to answer, bro. Either you're not being honest with yourself or you literally don't know the scriptures. So yeah, Jeremiah, that's the waters, bro. Anyways, shalom everybody. Anybody else want to come on? Anybody else? The waters. Say you peace, bro. I gotta go. Anything else you want to say?
I just told you Moses, so you just said what I said. But anyway, that was kind of like, what are you talking about? But anyways, like what I'm telling you about, like, so at the world, this question I was saying salvation, like right now, like, so we're gonna wait for a man to come from the sky and pick us up, or how are we gonna do it,
Let
or
me
what?
ask you a question, bro. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Um, during the time of the judges, right? How many judges do we have?
I'm talking about right now, the president,
No, no,
right?
no, no. I'm asking you a question, bro. We having a dialogue. See, you can't do dialogues, bro. This is why
I am
every time I bring you up, bro, you never want to have a dialogue. You either want to do a monologue or you want me to do a monologue. If you want me to do a monologue, I can kick you out and I can just do a monologue and just talk. Right? If I bring you on to the
also
panel, it's because I want to have a dialogue with you, right? So now I'm asking you a question. During the time of the judges, how many judges do we have?
tell me
Okay, we had 13 judges, right? Now,
13
I'm gonna
tribes
give you one example. Who saved the Israelites during the times of the Philistines? I mean, no, that's not as specific. All right. Um, who saved our people during the times of Samson from the hand of the Philistines?
Yahweh does everything.
Bro, Samson is the one that saved us from the hand of the Philistines by killing thousands of Philistines,
And the water
so on and so
and
forth. So the whole point,
and
hold on,
David
yeah, hold on. The
David
whole,
smoked the
hold
Philistine
on,
with
brother,
a
hold on,
slingshot too.
hold on. The whole point of me saying that is that we have always had mediators and saviors amongst the nation of Israel throughout the times of the nation, bro. There's always been saviors. As a matter of fact, Obadiah 121, right? You know the scripture. What does it say?
Where?
Obadiah 121.
Deliverance. Oh, let me read it. Or it says, deliverance shall ascend to Mount Tasayawan, Zion, to judge the mounts of Esau, and royalty is Yahweh. Obadiah 1 and 21.
Right. And what's the word right there? Saviors, bro. It says, and saviors shall come out of Mount Zion. Now I'm gonna read Isaiah 19,
Salvation.
right? Yeah, it says, and saviors shall come out of Mount Zion.
Okay,
I'm gonna read
so
Isaiah. Hold on, brother. Hold on. I'm gonna put you on mute because I keep hearing echo. So Isaiah 19, it's 920, 1920, bro. Isaiah 19:20. It says, and it shall be for a sign and for a witness unto the Lord of hosts in the land of Egypt. For they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors. Who's gonna cry? The Israelites. For they shall cry unto the Lord because of the oppressors. And he, who's the he? The Most High, right? It says, and he shall send them Savior and a great one, and he shall deliver them. You see? So the Mosai, hearing the cry of the nation of Israel in the land of Egypt, he sent a savior and a great one that delivered them. So we have always, bro, always had many saviors, many mediators between us and Lahayim or the Mosai or Yahweh, whoever you want to call them. Ahaya, Ahaya, Shirahaya, whoever you want to call them. So I don't know what you're talking about, bro. When talking about, Yahweh, bro. Yahweh always sends saviors, bro. How is that to understand? How hard is that to understand?
so look, it
I'm gonna
says
read another
and in Isaiah 19, which you just
27.
read,
It says,
it says Yahweh is gonna set
therefore thou
salvation,
delivers
a
them
great
into the hand of
deliverance.
their enemies who vex them, and in the time of their trouble, when they cried unto thee, thou heardest them from heaven, and according to thy manifold mercies thou gavest them saviors who saved them out of the hand of their enemies, bro. Which is what you were asking earlier. What is the salvation? Salvation is us being saved from the hand of our enemies. Well, when we cried out to the Mosai, what does he do? Does he literally gets off his throne and comes to the earth? No. He sends saviors, bro. He sends saviors to save us. I don't understand why it's too hard to understand that we've always had many saviors. So
So, like I'm saying right now, salvation, we're gonna wait.
anyways, everybody, we're gonna close it out, man. It's late. I gotta get some rest. Once again, I hope you guys were edified. We'll see you on Friday night, Miami. Thank you for tuning in. You guys have a great night. We'll see you on the next one. Peace out, everybody. Shalom. Shalom, Northern Kingdom, Ram, Jeremiah, Paulo de Santiago, Adara, Jeremiah Yashra, 144 Israelite Warriors, Seal. Shalom, bro. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming on. Ben Cueva, Shalom. Gypsy King, Shalom, bro. Peace out. We'll see you around. Everybody else, Anthony and Pequeña Outcast, Shalom, sis. Thanks for all the scriptures they always post out. Mija, Shalom. Who else? Everybody else, man. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you around next time. You guys have a great night. We'll see you at Friday Night Miami. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. And shalom. Shalom, Israel. Shalom. Have a great night. Peace out.